concert.
Always the best.
Gina say Mystical was the best.
And
No
here
limit.
we are, Saturday.
No limit niggas come on my on my live.
Here we go. Y'all ready for this?
Was the best
It's a little chilly today, but it's a nice day on a Saturday.
I got pants and a shirt on today.
Well, so it's a good day.
Kind of shorts now.
I
The
have
shants.
pants too.
It is what it is.
He got the sweats going
You
here.
got
I got
floods.
the wicks.
I got pants.
I'm with it out all the time.
Well,
It
shit, fuck
is
that.
what
I
it
got
is.
long
Is that
sleeve
what happened?
and boots.
I'm with it out all the time.
It's
Yes,
Kicking
indeed.
Company,
Kicking
Saturday,
Company.
12 p.m. Central
No,
Time.
we well exactly. We well behind that.
We got
But
the
it's all
original-
good. It's
It's
all
something like
good.
We got Mama Kicking in the building.
Mama
Yes,
Kick It is in
Mama
the
Kick It.
building.
Fresh off a birthday.
Dr.
Dr.
Mama
Mama
Kick It.
Kick
Let's
It.
get the PhD.
And my
Oh,
lip gloss.
Yes.
we got to put it in the building.
So we
PhD.
We have to watch our linguistics
Oh, you
today.
earned it. You supposed to be called it.
Well,
PhD.
and also, when people see me sometimes, they say I look familiar.
Uh-huh.
And so I say, well, I tell you what, was I your marriage counselor or was I your parole officer?
Oh, man.
Because let it be known that I was also a federal and a state parole officer.
Is that right?
15 years.
Oh, that's what's
You got it.
up.
Whoa.
I wish you, why you wasn't mine then?
I don't know.
You got
Do I
stripes.
look familiar?
You know, I remember everybody I dealt with.
Well, you already said it wasn't familiar.
Yeah.
So what else could it be?
Heck no.
That's
I was just,
right.
I wasn't in your jurisdiction. That's about what that was. I just
federal?
no federal. I ain't most definitely ain't
Or
trying to do that.
state?
State.
Had you both covered.
Yeah, I had
you
state.
both covered, yeah.
I
And
just
was
became a
working
free
on
man like 5 years
that.
ago.
Were you on the north side?
It's
Were you
an
on the
awesome
north side?
situation.
My office was on the north
Oh
side.
yeah, I was on the. I had to go out there. What's that?
Whitfield.
7 Hills. 7 Hills.
Okay.
No, that's way before time, man. That's way after time now. 7 Hills, they took
They
off.
got everything.
7 Hills is over there and off
Yeah, off of West Florida.
West Florissant. They
got
took all my life.
everything.
They took like
Everything.
15, almost 20 years of
You
my life.
can go to the parole officer. You can go to the unemployment office.
Yeah, everything
and
all
the
in
bank
one wop.
Right there.
All
right
in
in
one
7
wop.
Hills. Everything
Got you
is
covered.
over.
And the churches?
And then the club.
Say that.
And
on
get
the
your
corner.
license.
Yes.
And it's a church, yeah.
God.
And you can get
Yes.
your license right there. You can do everything.
Everything
right
all in
there
one
7
wop.
Hills, yep.
Who does that?
Go to the bar.
Who does that? Who put probation and parole all that in one thing?
Everything
How
is
convenient.
right there.
How convenient.
convenient.
So once I leave up out there, I can go fill out for some food stamps too,
Get
huh?
food stamps, get your car registered.
Yeah, but if I can have a word here, when I was working as a parole officer,
Uh-huh.
we were in the first floor of the Northwestern Hotel,
Oh, okay.
which was on the corner of Natural Bridge and Kings Highway, near the corner. Okay, and so after you saw your parole officer, you could go upstairs and visit a young lady or man as you chose, and you could also score
Oh, good.
upstairs. So that was like real.
So it was
convenient.
prostitutes upstairs and drug dealers.
Yeah. But we were on
Okay.
the first floor to keep everybody straight before they went up.
Yeah.
Man, that's
So
terrible.
they come in
They-
not high because they might have to drive, and then they go
Man,
upstairs
that's
and get high.
You
terrible.
want to know a story about that too? Way back when, I'm 71 years old as of Friday.
Happy belated birthday.
Well, thank
Right.
you.
So
Libra
why
rule.
don't-
Ah, she said Libra's
My
rude.
mom was Libra.
Libra's
my
rule.
oldest son. and my
But
grandson.
before you took urine specimens way back in the day, I was part of it in Missouri of getting that established. But guess how we would do it?
Uh-huh.
We
Blood?
would have these jars, and we would have them, pee, and then we put them in the refrigerator with our lunch till they came by to pick them up.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Oh, time to change then. They really
Yeah.
did
Because
change.
they didn't know all that sterilization
That's right.
and all.
Then they go in the
Oh,
bathroom
my
with
God,
they
that's
go in the
so
bathroom
gross.
with you when you do it
That's where
now.
it all went, and then
gotta hold it
one of
for
us
you?
actually.
Man,
had to
they
take it down.
basically this next thing they gonna be doing that.
Yeah, but then
A
then
lot
what
of
we had
people
to
didn't
do
know
was
they
to
had
take it-
pee in their refrigerator.
Right.
People used to, my brother and them used to keep pee in their refrigerator from people who didn't smoke weed. And they had to
Yeah.
dump.
Just
Yeah.
don't
Some
think it's
people just-
lemonade.
People just didn't know what was in your
Oh,
refrigerator.
I got a story about that one. That's right, about pee and lemonade. But
I think this conversation has made me happy.
It went a
Oh
little off kilter.
my God!
Hey,
we used to take it
That's
to the
crazy.
methadone clinic. But I remember the first dude that came in, young guy, and I was, showing him the box and the P and all this kind of stuff and explaining to him how it was, and he had to sign on it. And I said, so, do you have any questions? And he looked at me and says, well, would you turn around first? I said, whoa, wait a minute. I get you a dude.
Because you got when you do your drug, they got to be in there.
Really?
Yes, that's why I say they took 15.
They watch you pee.
Watch me pee. Everybody. I'm like, some of these people might be a little funny.
Unconstitutional?
Might be a little funny.
But
They do it for jobs too.
Well,
Who?
yeah.
Why would somebody will come in there with me for a job?
For a job,
No.
had them watch me.
No.
I was an
No.
armed security officer, and in some places they will watch you, or they take your purses, they take everything.
Oh, that's
They
too
take
much right
all
there.
of your
Then.
stuff, but
They
it
watch
is
you.
unconstitutional
Sometimes
for
they
a job for
years
them to
ago-
watch you.
Years ago they did.
It had to be
You gotta
before
remember,
I
I'm
started
50-some
working.
years old.
That's crazy.
It had to be years
You got to
before,
remember I'm 50
and I started working in '94.
I did that at 30 years
All
ago.
they do is you go in a room and you
Okay,
take
so
your
now I'm
test.
Okay.
I mean, whether
No,
you
you
or
know
not,
that.
I've
No,
worked long
you know,
enough. I'm
see,
44,
exactly. I don't
and
wanna take
I've
no
never
piss test
had
and there's
them
people in
standing
there.
out there watching
will,
me.
and a lot
I
of
never
them
been a
will
criminal
watch you.
and
For a
took
job.
nothing for
That's for a
nan
job.
job, and I
Exactly.
have jobs that make
There
60,
you go.
70,000 a year.
Straight up. So
And
I'm
trust
for
me,
a
ain't
job.
nobody ever for now job stood there and
Me
watched
neither.
me.
That's why I said not
That
for no
bitch gonna
job.
stole in her eye.
They'll watch
That's
you.
crazy
So,
for a job.
They'll watch
I
you
don't know
for a
how
job, and they'll
secure,
shave the
and
back
I
of your
work
hair.
secure ass, real paid jobs.
Yeah.
And
No, I
got
never
real
I
that.
just never, but I know for probation and parole,
I got
they
real
stand
pain.
there
I can
all day
understand
long.
that if you're a criminal.
Yeah.
But for a job,
No,
I
they
have
shouldn't do
never,
that. They have
ain't
no,
no
they
way.
ain't got no business doing that.
Ain't
They
no
sure be in
way.
there
And
with
I've
the-
been
they don't want you
working
with the door
since
shut. It's right there.
1994, so I don't know nothing before that.
Yeah, no, they don't
But
supposed
since
to be in
then,
there.
I
you
worked
go
before
to Quest
94. I had kids
Diagnostic
in
or
94.
places like that,
92 and
and before then, they really wasn't even taking tests like that. You know what I'm saying? For jobs, those laws just came in place in the late 80s and 90s.
Drug test on.
Where they were doing that
You had to
when
do a
everybody was
test.
We
crackheads.
take some drug tests around this mud. I hate the person who came up with that.
Do a drug test.
I hate the person who came up with that. I'm sorry.
I mean, I can understand it.
It's terrible.
You don't want the head of your bank
Damn.
on a lot of drugs.
Man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he's going to be robbing.
Well, he's got to pay for him somehow.
Yeah.
Or that bank is going to pay for
Well, it
it.
don't make no difference because most of your doctors are crackhead. I mean, well, they do cocaine.
Well, they
so
pe-
it
nah,
don't
they
even
peel
matter.
No, they do legal drugs.
They do cocaine.
Yeah.
And peel
They
heads.
do.
That movie's out now.
I know they do.
on,
They
They
do that
streaming.
coke.
What's
Y'all
that?
hear about Dope Sick?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
watch
gonna
that, yeah.
watch
I'm
that.
gonna watch that. Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
supposed
watch
to be
that.
good.
And it's got some of the best
Yeah.
actors in it, so I know it's gonna
we'll
be
probably
good.
have it on tonight and see how that.
But I
runs down.
believe that. I mean, most of the people who have died in these, late of overdoses and stuff, it be legal drugs that they
Yeah,
overdosing off of.
Yeah, it's really- it's
Percocets,
really sick.
Oxycontin, all
You know
that
what I'm saying?
mess.
It's
Yeah.
the legal
That done
drugs.
took over. It
It's
done took
totally
over.
taken over.
Yeah, it didn't took over.
I mean, when anytime that they have so they have drug give backs like they have gun give backs, where you take back the people who've died in your life
So you're
or different
I'm
stuff
finna
like
say
that.
those-
You can take them into
You
the
take all of the
police
prescriptions
office,
in to the police offices now.
Uh-huh.
They want you to take people who not dead or not using those drugs. They want you to take them back now because
And turn
people
'em
are- and turn them in.
Who they think gonna do that?
But they got rules too. We tried to take some back in, and you had to sort them out.
Oh,
and you
no.
couldn't mix them
Come
together.
on, who's doing all of that?
Who they
Yeah.
think gonna do all that?
Yeah,
Ain't nobody
well, we
doing
turned
all that.
around and kind of left and said,
Yeah. See, you're deterring people from doing it
Yeah.
when you say that they can do it, and then when they bring them,
yeah,
you got to divide and conquer and all this
but
kind
then
of
the
craziness.
other thing is you put them in kitty litter.
What is it?
Kitty litter.
Really?
Yeah, I mean nobody's exactly gonna go in soiled.
No, they showed you most definitely right about that. Yes.
But the cat won't eat the.
No. And then you throw the kitty litter away. Used kitty litter. Used. The emphasis on the word used.
Yeah,
like
buddy.
As in,
I hope not. No more than that.
I mean,
Yeah.
my people died and all they had was Rolex. So, you know what I'm saying? Rolades and stuff.
oh
so,
yeah, they took that off the market.
really?
Yeah, Rolaids, I think it is.
It should be because it destroys your
Yeah.
lining.
What, eat the lining of your esophagus
of
up?
your, it makes the acid reflux. What is gas? It turns into acid reflux.
Yeah.
Because you keep taking this Rolex and you think it's doing good, but that aspirin in the shit is destroying your lining
It's
of
eating
your
up all the lining like a mug. Yeah. That's brazy there.
Well, in any of that kind of stuff, you're not supposed to take a whole lot.
Yeah.
And some of the other big brand names, they're okay as long as you don't overdo it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it won't be
Tylenol.
Boy, I ain't
all
getting
of
no
that.
acid reflux
If
till I
you
turned
take
40
too
years
much
old. I didn't
Tylenol,
even know what it
your
was.
kidney will disappear.
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere, too.
See?
But,
I know.
It just came out of nowhere.
Any red sauce.
I can't do nothing
and
of
I'm
that no
gonna
more.
die about 3 in the morning. I thought I was having a heart attack.
I want to go to my other specialty here.
What is that?
Relationships.
Here we
Relationships.
go.
Here we go.
Lord.
So,
Are you gonna give me divorce?
oh my goodness, no. It's about better relationships.
Okay.
Keeping them. And so, you can pick a card here out of my deck. Or you can call a card. Do you have a favorite card in the deck?
The Ace of Spades.
Oh, Ace of Spades. Okay, let's see. Let's find that. King.
Ace of Spades.
I got the diamonds.
Ace of
Should've organized
Spades.
these
For
to make them
anybody who want to play me at
easier.
spades,
Okay, here
no.
we got the Ace of Spades. All right.
All right.
There and so what I'd ask is if you comment on this, agree, disagree, think it's a crock,
Okay.
or whatever you think about it. And then these come from I spent 34 years as a relationship coach, therapist.
Oh, we finna get it in.
Okay.
And so I've learned from tens of thousands of people. And so these are based on that. But that doesn't mean they're true for everybody. And there can be exceptions to it. So anyway, the Ace of Spades says there are 2 relationships in every union. One viewed from his experience, or the other from hers, or hers and hers, and his and his. However.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
you're saying amen. So can you tell me why you do agree with that, or why that applies to you?
Because in our relationship with my whatever he is, my husband, whatever. I view
associate.
Go on, spit it out, Briggs.
the
God
man-
dang,
the
go on,
man
spit it
who
out.
I planned.
Hey, okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Plan
what
to
we're
be
about.
with for the rest of your
He
life.
shall not be spoken. Anyway, so his view on the exact same, we can be at the exact same place and have the exact same experience. His view on the experience will be totally different from my view of the
But does it make
experience.
it wrong?
Huh?
Nah.
It doesn't make it wrong.
Nah.
It's not wrong because that is his view according to how he was raised
And so-
and his experience on life and my view. But I see that. But I still be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But, you know what I'm saying?
So you be-
I understand.
So
How
it's
does it
something
help
totally
you?
different.
How does it help you to know that?
How does it help me knowing that?
Yeah.
It helps me not to slap the shit out of him.
There you go.
that- Can I say that?
Hey,
Darl, you better not do a goddamn thing
I
wrong,
mean,
boy.
because it used to be like, how the hell does he see that like that?
It makes you
and-
think how people think.
I mean,
people
you know
think
what I'm saying?
totally
Years
different,
ago,
boy.
I used to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I have grown to the point where I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
All right.
But you notice that from the stories a person tell you,
You
and
betcha. You learn
and,
about 'em.
and that's with growth, because the things that me and my husband talk about now, even in our ins or outs, are so much different from how it used to be, where we didn't talk about the things that we went through and the things that, you know what I'm saying? But it still is like, I will slap this
Like,
shit.
Okay.
and that just goes to show you people totally just different views on life.
Do you dare call a card or pick one?
I just pick
card.
one. It don't even matter. I
All
ain't.
right.
Oh, Ace of Clubs.
All right, Ace of Clubs. All right. And so the Ace of Clubs. We have not communicated because I heard what you said. We have
Ah.
communicated when what you mean is what I understand. What do
Ah.
you think about that one?
Let's see what we can say. Hey, I ain't in no relationship, so but if I was
This
in
was with anybody.
anybody, oh, okay. Communication is always best. And you got to have an open mind.
Okay. Okay.
But there's hearing and listening.
all day long. If you
You
listen,
can hear it. Wah, wah, wah,
all
wah,
of that.
wah, wah,
Hearing
wah.
means I'm just letting it go in one ear and out the other. But if
Yeah.
I'm listening, I'm gonna pay attention to everything and try to work on what you're talking about.
Right. And if you say something and I say, well, that's not what I mean.
Exactly.
And you say, oh, but you said, and you quote words and all that.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of stuff.
that's just gonna further the situation
Right.
even more.
You don't know what I mean.
Exactly.
I know what I mean. Now, maybe I didn't
It's
say
up to
it
me
right.
to try to understand what you mean.
Right, and it's up to me to try to say it in a way, and not
All
just
day
keep-
long.
and not just keep saying the same stupid words.
Yes.
It didn't mean to you what I wanted them
That's
to
going to
mean.
keep the argument keep going.
Yeah,
It's going to keep the
yeah.
argument going.
Yeah, and oh, but you said stupid.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I didn't mean stupid. I meant it was just didn't make too much.
You got to respect everybody's opinion. I mean, well, whatever their opinion or whatever they got going on in the situation. You can't be one side narcissists. Are the worstest people in the world.
Right.
They don't believe they do anything wrong. They won't accept ownership to anything.
And they figure that the way they say something, everybody ought
Yes,
to understand it.
yes.
You're stupid. If
Oh, I was with a narcissist for 5 years, so them are the worstest people to be around. Narcissists, what I call it, narcissists, people that they don't care. They help you do whatever, and they still.
They're the best.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
I'm
the best,
gonna
the
find the right
smartest.
word. It's gonna come to me, but yeah.
They're the best.
Ye-
They're the smartest.
Yes,
If they say it's
yes.
right. If it's right, they say it. If
Them are the
it's
worstest people to be
Self-centered.
around.
Yeah.
They're the worstest
Self-centered.
people
All
around.
right. You want to take one or call one?
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. Oh,
Queen
I
of
like that.
motherfucking.
All right. Let's see what the Queen has to say.
Not heartless.
Here we go. All right. Are we ready for the Queen of Hearts?
Yeah.
The couple's challenge is to respect and value both childhood families and their marital bond or relationship bond. Neither should feel torn between their families of origin and the family of creation. In other words, your parents are, your bio family and the family you create through your relationship.
Because the family you create should be first.
Got any thoughts on that? Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
Is what you
I
see
don't
when you
have-
grow it up.
I mean, I agree. It ain't what I mean. A lot of people the type of person that just believe in marriage is very sacred and serious, and that's why I never been married. And I understand the bond and the respect and the covenant that you have when you become married, and that's your family. That, like she said, the family that you create is your family first. Because once, like they say, you separate and you become one with the other person. So that's
Yep.
when you leave your parents in that part. But it don't mean that either one have to be disrespected or disregarded.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Justin, my man, my son. How about you?
Kick it.
There you go.
Put it on out.
All right. Let's see what Magic won. And he picked a 6 of diamonds.
6 of diamonds.
6 for the month of his daughter's birth.
4
All right.
6.
We don't get into trouble for how we feel, but our actions in response. What do you think about that, Justin? Kick it.
Yeah, Justin, what you be doing?
Mr. Kick It.
What you be doing?
Repeat the question.
Now he can't hear it.
He heard that, boy.
Nah, he can't hear it.
We don't get into trouble for how we feel, but for our actions in response. But how we act after that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. If you get in a fight with somebody, it's not the person who starts the fight that gets in trouble.
It's the one that comes after.
Yeah, it's the one who
What's coming-
retaliates.
Yeah,
or
it's the afterwards.
reciprocates.
Yeah, always.
Why'd you
always.
push him? Well, he pushed me
Exactly.
first. Well,
Go
I
look
didn't
at
see it.
football. The person who get flagged always be the one who always come and push the man secondly. He
Yeah.
the one that get caught all the time.
Right.
No
So,
faking.
Yeah, if it's internal, then you can't really tell what's going on. But if it's external, yeah, I mean you can.
Everybody got to be willing to have an open. You got to be able to talk. It's all about talking.
Right, and you're just because you're mad doesn't
Yeah,
mean you got to pull out a Uzi
you
and
show.
shoot somebody.
Yes, right. That's right.
But
you
there are
got
people who do that.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
if
Yeah.
you're on your
I'd have been stabbed, so I know.
You have to learn. People have to learn how to control their anger.
There you go, Briggs.
Anger management.
There you go.
Is key. They should teach anger management more in school.
In school, at the beginning.
At the
At the
beginning.
beginning.
Because
Yes.
once a person knows anger management and how to control those type of feelings, then they know what to do.
Yeah.
If kids aren't taught that, then that's when you get situations like Columbine or school shootings and different things like that, because they don't know how to control what's going on in their mind.
Yeah.
And even in addition, that's the best starting point, is emotional management.
Yes.
Because kids who feel sad or worthless are like a piece of junk.
But the crazy thing about that, you teach them that early.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
People don't understand that because they like, what do you teach the 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 years?
Everything.
You teach them life skills.
Everything.
Coming from a teacher that's educated, who has a degree in early career education, we teach your children their life skills. It's social,
That's
emotional, it's all of that. You teach them how to manage and control their feelings. Those are something that you do
Gina,
every day.
it's not doing a good job.
That's if they don't go.
Kids,
no, I'm saying
these
that's
kids
where it
have
starts.
a lot less control of their anger and things like that than we did.
Yeah, but I'm just
So
saying
if
that's
they're
where you
teaching
start.
it,
That's
it's
where you
not
start.
working.
Well, and anger is kind of
Some
a
of those
cover.
kids didn't
It's
go to
kind of a
preschool.
cover feeling. Usually, if you take anger and you peel open the box,
It's
you'll
an
find
issue in
low
between.
self-esteem. You'll find worthlessness.
Oh, I
you'll
know
find
they're not
fear,
teaching self-esteem,
all that kind of
because
stuff.
that's why
And so
bullying.
anger management is a good place to start, because that's where it all pops up and blows up. But you got to look below
Beneath
that,
it.
and so that's why I'm in favor of emotional management, which includes anger
Anger.
management, of course. And anger management is a lot of times the most.
I'll be emotionally messed up too if my mom and daddy hung out and partied all damn day long. I don't fake it.
Baby.
You ain't showing me no attention. You ain't even taking me to the zoo. You ain't taking me to the movie. You ain't doing nothing.
I think it's more than just
Straight up.
My kids didn't have those.
it's more than just the parents. It's an extension of the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
my mom and them, I remember them partying, but we had grandparents and great grandparents and aunties and different things like that. I don't think family is what it is.
No, family most definitely not the same. You ain't. I mean, kids don't get punished like when they do something wrong, they get rewarded now. That's really
They
bad.
get past the phone or the tablet.
You don't get rewarded for doing bad. I didn't get rewarded when I did bad growing up, but these kids get rewarded these days. That's why you got the disrespectfulness. You don't hear no kids saying yes ma'am or no ma'am or no sir, yes sir. You don't hear none of that going on
I
no
knew
more.
I was snatched.
Flat out. But everybody don't teach their kids that.
But
You know what I'm saying?
Because I don't know. Somebody told me once. I don't know. Somebody told me once that it was something about yes ma'am or yes sir that was negative some kind.
Man, yes, ma'am, and no, sir, is what you tell your mama and daddy. Now, that ain't nothing. That's just out of respect to people.
The reason some people would say that is that you're deferring to them, that you're putting them above you. But in terms of parents need to pay it forward to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with a father one time who was really ticked off about his teenager who told him to go F himself and stuff like that.
Man.
And he said,
Ooh, that's the last day you would breathe, Lord
yeah.
Jesus.
But you know what his response was? He says, well, I'm going to show her. He said, I pinned her up in the wall, and I said, you go F yourself and F yourself and F yourself again.
So he just made the situation worse.
Absolutely.
He made it worse.
Right. And you have to pay the respect forward before you get it back.
Like a mud.
And if a parent says, you got to respect me, I'm your parent, well, where are they going to learn the respect?
If you ain't showing exactly.
If you aren't showing respect to your child, if you're always yelling at him, screaming at him, calling him stupid, not giving them a choice when there is a choice. I mean, a choice of 3, not a choice of 16 or anything like that, but depending on how old they are. But that's where they learn respect. And you ain't getting it back as a parent.
Not at all. If you ain't dishing it out.
I always taught my kids respect is earned.
Yeah.
Your respect, and I tell grown people that your respect is earned. I taught my children, my own children, not the kids I teach, my children. Respect is earned, and in order for you to get respect, you have to give it. You can't go, and that was all that came from me, that came from anybody else, they teach us anything.
Absolutely.
You cannot go in there being disrespectful and then call and say, well, they being disrespectful. I say, first of all, you have to be respectful yourself, even in the times like as a kid, you got to stay in a kid's place, and you have a parent that's able to take care of that. So when
And
you
fight
going
your
through a
battle.
situation, you still have to show that respect because that's an older person and that's what you've been taught. And then they'll try to turn it on you. Well, you said respect is earned. I say, but you also have to know that you have somebody else, like you say, that's gonna fight those battles and do whatever. You keep your respect and do what you do, and then you let somebody else come and handle that because you can't be in there cussing the teachers out because the teachers cursing you out because, like you just say, it made the situation worse. Whether it's your mama, your daddy, your cousin, or the teachers, or the you can't do that. So if you taught to do that, to respect, and that it's earned, then you may lose respect for that person because they disrespectful. But it's a way to handle and do everything, and that's what I say. That's the part that you teach them from the beginning: how to be respectful, how to control their own feelings. You have to be able to regulate your own feelings. You have to be able to calm yourself down. You have to be able to soothe your own self when it comes to your emotions and your issues. And it goes very deep when it comes to that because you do learn this stuff as a child.
Yeah.
Well, you hope that you're getting taught that as a child.
Saying, a lot of people
I know a lot that didn't.
If you got somebody that's just falling out and you allow your kid to just constantly
yes, you see that every day.
They grow up
You
to
go
do
in
that.
a restaurant, a kid acting ferociously.
And that's because they haven't been taught that.
Yeah.
Your emotions are your emotions, and you
I'm
have
like,
the right.
you can't control your kid.
No, they can't, because they allow them to do it.
That's why. And then when they grow up, be disrespectful. That's on
That's
you.
how it happens.
And when they
That's
throw
on you.
and then they throw them when they throw temper tantrums, they give them candy.
Yeah.
That's why. Then I just said you get rewarded for being bad.
But again, when you think about it, there's only one thing's worse than a kid's tantrum. You know what it is?
It's the parent tantrum.
You got it.
No faking. Because if you seeing a parent throwing a tantrum, he gonna do the same exact thing. No faking.
You see it all the time, though. You see the parent arguing with the child.
Like a mud. I'm not arguing with none of
Going
my
back
kids.
and forth with them.
I'm sorry.
You see that. You see them yelling, and then the parent yelling at them. So you see the back and forth all the
And
time.
children feed off
What's
your
up, Sean?
emotions, and people don't know that too.
And when
They
you have-
feed off your emotions. So if you all hype and going
That's
crazy,
right.
the children are gonna be hype
If you
and going
just
crazy.
snatch them up, nip it in the bud, they gonna act right.
And
Never fails people.
no,
No,
that's how
when you
you
get-
got done.
No,
But if you do
That's
that,
how I
you know
do
what they gonna
them.
do?
I will snatch their ass up.
Especially if
and
they embarrass
walk
being-
right
yes,
up. I
yes.
don't give a damn. And
Don't
after I
embarrass
do
me.
that, the entire
Don't
rest
embarrass
of the
me.
trip is fine.
Like a mud. Don't embarrass me. I'm sorry.
There's some situations where that will work.
Yeah, everybody
Depends on the
different.
child.
Yep.
The other
My
children.
3 at work. Y'all don't do it with
okay,
y'all.
and I'm not going to second guess.
No, they go.
what
They
you're
get
doing.
worse, huh? They do it
I'm not-
worse.
I'm not
I just seem to
second-guessing
get
what
worse.
you are doing. But there are kids that if you do that to, all it does is set them up to be a victim of bullies. Because whoever shouts loudest, talks a certain way, they're going to do
stop
what they
them.
say
Yeah.
regardless.
Right.
Then there are other kids who are going to become the bullies
Yep.
when they want somebody else to do what they want them to do. They're not their parent, they're just a peer or whatever. They're going to treat other people like that. So there's only one of 3 basic types of kids that'll be responsive to. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I screwed up. I need to just shut it up." And that's the kid who has more self-esteem to start with. So it just
Ain't that what
depends.
I always say?
Me?
It's the self-esteem.
I was
that
bullying
you
the bullies.
How about
I beat up the bullies.
That's all we did was Jones.
No
Nothing they
faking.
said mattered to me because my mother and daddy
They
told
taught me the
I
right way.
was the shit.
Yeah.
So nobody in school, nobody nowhere could tell me anything different. And it's not just my parents. They taught us self-esteem.
Yeah.
In the Ferguson, Florissant
Yeah.
School District, they taught us self-esteem
Yeah.
from kindergarten
You know I know.
on up.
I went to Hall's
Feeling
Ferry.
good about yourself and loving yourself. We went to see the letter people down for Channel 9
Took you
and
on-
they taught us how to
took you all that
feel,
stuff
you
back
know
in the
what I'm
day.
saying? So we that's why me in my generation, I don't understand bullying.
Do kids go on field trip these days?
And that's, with the
They
self-esteem.
haven't. They
My
haven't.
kids that went on like
Well,
3
that's what-
kids.
Not
that's
recently.
what, Justin was bullied, but he had high self-enough esteem. He didn't soak it in, and that, and
Bully
but
been
Bro,
going
you should have been
Bully
around
been
me.
going on forever and it
Yeah.
still go on.
You should have been around me, dog.
But
No
and everybody,
faking.
Other
if everybody
kids'
loved that stuff, you
reaction
wouldn't have
to
those
it-
issues. Everybody is different. Everybody emotions
But
is different.
kids'
So we can't blame
reaction
nobody
to it
for
is
being
worse. Kids' reaction to it is worse than it was in our time.
Yeah, but I don't like
It
people
was-
getting bullied though.
During our
don't
time,
either.
it was unheard of for a child to kill themselves because of bullying. Now it's an everyday event.
Hey, when I was in the penitentiary, you know, my counselor told me, you think you can save everybody.
During your time,
and I do think I can save everybody.
Black people commit suicide, period.
That's why I beat up the bullies.
Black people still don't commit suicide.
Yeah, that is. But I
races.
just don't like seeing people getting picked on. I was never that type. I never.
never
If I
like
seen
that.
you picking on somebody, now I'm finna pick on you. I bullied the bully. I beat up the bullies.
That's what Brandon, the boss, said. Remember, that's how he got into boxing.
Yeah, I beat up all the bullies.
He beat up the bullies.
Yeah, I beat up
professional
all the bullies.
boxer.
No faking.
I ain't beat up nobody.
Boy, I beat up all the bullies.
Let's get back to the cards.
No faking. I beat them all
I got
up.
something going on. What other kind of cards you have?
Well, I'm going to pick a card.
Oh,
It's
okay.
my turn.
All right.
And it's 8 of spades. Consistent efforts, and this is kind of like what we've been talking about, to continue doing the right thing.
The right thing. Ooh, my
Are
best
a
friend.
must.
Come here, girl.
Even when faced with backsliding behavior or broken promises from your partner.
There you go.
In other words,
How you been doing?
hey, just because they're acting bad, maybe
You
they're
know
having
this,
a
my
bad
niggas.
day or something. If you pile your junk on top of it, then it's just going to make it worse, and it's probably not going to turn the corner. But if you just kind of, take a deep breath and say, well, do your thing, and we'll come back and talk about it later, and kind of separate yourself from it. I understand you're upset, but I can't handle dealing with that. So I'm going to go back and let's check back in an hour or so. But if you pile your own junk on top of their junk, then you're just going to go
get more
spiral
junk
down. So just because they backslid and they said they weren't going to do this, that, or the other, if you add your backsliding, you got double backsliding.
Yeah.
Go down the tubes.
Two wrongs don't make it right is basically what you're saying.
Well, two wrongs make it worse.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
You cheat on me, I'm going to cheat back on you.
So,
Make you feel better.
Hell
so it's about
no.
the backsliding behavior.
Girl, what you do?
So anybody else want to pick one or call a card?
What you doing? I'll call a card.
She beat you to it. All right.
Yeah. What you talking
Okay. If you want to grow older together, don't let things grow old. What do we think about it?
That
Agree,
means
disagree?
create some new everyday
She
relationship.
gets to go first. She gets to go
That means zip your mouth.
Okay.
So, yeah, right. So, basically, you say if you don't want it to go old, don't let it go old. So, that means keep stuff fresh, new, and
just
try
gave
new
it a game.
things. And also do the stuff that you did to get them in the first place. So, keep doing what you did in the first place. So, if y'all like dating or doing certain things, continue to date her or, continue to do the things she like.
You bring up a real interesting thing, because one of the things I would tell couples a lot, where they would talk about things got old or things were going stale or whatever, I'd say, well, what is it that you used to do that when you did it, things were better? If you did it again, things would be better now.
Right.
And I'd rattle that off about as fast, and they both look at each other, and they know the answer. They know exactly what it was that they stopped doing. So it's kind of bringing the old back in to be new again, because exactly like you said, some of the things that were the foundation of the good stuff in the early, you just say, oh, we don't need to do it anymore.
Right.
This particular saying, I remember that this goes back 30, even maybe 40 years. And I had a couple, they were in their 30s or 40s, I think, and they were married like 20 years. And she was starting to emotionally cheat on the dude, and he found
Say
out
emotionally cheat on you. She didn't physically cheat, she emotionally cheated. That means she was cheating that man. I want to love you, and she not telling them back or anything like that. That's terrible. That's more worse than you actually going to cheat on somebody.
She was getting ready to
And it's
act on
phone
it.
conversations.
Say she was getting ready to act on it.
It's
And it was sharing
text
your feelings.
messages, it's
And
emails.
sharing
That's
your
emotional.
feelings where you should be sharing with your partner.
Right.
Well, anyway, so she, didn't like going that direction, and then she could feel they were going to get physical and all this kind of junk. So she told him about it. So this is why they came in for therapy, because they wanted to take it the other direction, and she knew she was doing wrong. And
she admitted it?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't find so many of them out
find
there
that.
like that. Boy, I need to find one of them. No faking.
A woman
No, you
admitted
don't.
she was wrong. Wait a
No,
minute.
you
What's
don't,
going on?
'cause
Johnny, I need to find one that
no, you
admits
don't,
when they
'cause
make a mistake.
That chick is crazy as shit. You don't never tell on yourself. That shit ain't normal.
Heck no.
What the fuck?
I want to find them
You ain't
bricks.
even did nothing, and you telling. Who does that?
Heck no.
Hey, there's one important reason.
What's that?
Women don't have to admit they're wrong much, because they're not wrong.
No. Bull crap.
But you say that
Bull
stuff
crap.
again for the people in the
But you know what?
Bull
The
crap.
only reason why she did it in the first place is because he probably was ignoring her the whole time.
right. And
So if she started telling, and when
Emotional
people,
neglect
I
is
tell
why
men
women
all the
cheat.
time, women are emotional.
Are you for
Women,
real?
no matter what the situation
that.
is,
This
women
ain't no
are
coyote
emotional.
ugly.
So if you're not attending to her emotional needs, you're
Yep.
gonna lose her. And
That's why
once
women
somebody else
cheat.
connect to her emotions and listen to her
Yep.
and give her what she needs through
gonna
them
get the rest of
conversations, they fall in love with them from that.
Well,
If
it
you
goes the
can't-
same for a man.
If you can't,
It does.
It goes the same for a
women are
man.
very emotional.
Men are too.
The end of the story here was that, she said something about you're not taking care of me, you're not saying nice things,
Right.
you're not telling me I look good, you're not saying you really respect me. And he looked at her and he says, well, honey, that stuff grows older.
No, it don't. Not when I'm your woman, your wife.
And so
Heck no.
that's when it just was a
Maybe she need to go get her hair done or some stuff like
Nah,
ass
Buzz, he
eyelashes.
just didn't say nothing. No, he just wasn't saying nothing no more because
Ass eyelashes.
he
know
had
what I'm
her and he
saying?
was like, okay, I ain't got to tell my wife she pretty no more now that she already know. No, people still need to hear things.
Well, a man want to hear that he handsome too.
You never know. She might have been telling him that, but he's not.
I'm
He's
talking-
not telling
See, that's
her.
the thing. It can't just be no one-way street. It got to be coming back and
Nobody
forth.
said that.
And let me
Right,
address
it never
that.
said
Most
that.
definitely.
Let me address that. I've been doing therapy for 35 years.
I always wanted to
And
be a therapist.
Back when I first started, it was always the women, the mothers, the girlfriends that always came in to set up the therapy. But about maybe even 20 years ago, it started being more of the men because women started getting the independence to leave the men.
Yes.
They were unhappy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
men started understanding
Like, let me
the
get
value
myself
of
together.
the
Thank
relationship. And bless the men. Bless the men.
The ones who actually did.
Yeah, they actually called in, and so now it's kind of like 50-50.
See, I told you it's more emotional men walking around here.
That's what
Boy, they emotional now.
I'm validating you.
They've been emotional. And
No, they were not being. Men
they
were not
were.
They just
emotional.
was- they just
Men were
wasn't
not
showing it
emotional
on
right
camera.
now. I say women
They
act
weren't
like
talking
it's.
about it.
I see more women that act like more of a man than
we
what
have
a
to
man
switch-
do,
We have to switch the
and that's
roles.
sad.
It's what's called androgynous.
You have to switch the
And that's-
roles.
And that's well, not even that so much.
No, the roles have been switched. I can believe that.
It can to some extent, but it's called androgyny, where you pick up the best of the stereotypical male and female characteristics. And women have learned to be more independent and interactive.
We have to.
And then back in the 70s, when you talked about maturity of adults, what they always listed was the stereotypical male characteristics, and women, just because they were women, were considered more immature. But as women became more androgynous, and men too, appreciating their feelings, because it's not that men weren't emotional; they weren't trained to feel.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to be emotional.
That's what I said.
You weren't supposed to be
That's why
emotional.
most
If a dude
men's
cried-
emotion is
Boy, if a boy
anger
cried,
or
you don't-
aggression or anything.
You ain't gonna
because
find too many boys that gonna cry in front of other boys. See, women they'll cry in front of other women all day
men
long.
didn't even used to be taught nurturing.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
different
saying.
things like that. That's why they had major connections with their
That's
kids.
the they say you don't
Connection
cry,
issues
you don't
with
this,
their
you don't
kids
that.
because
Shit,
they
I'ma
weren't
cry.
Yeah.
taught how to nurture them. I read this book where they were giving little boys baby dolls too to teach them nurturing and everything like that.
What?
I gave Justin. I made him a Cabbage Patch doll to look like
You
him.
treat that Cabbage Patch dog good.
I think I set it on fire.
What do you think of my buddy was?
My buddy.
That's a baby
My
doll.
buddy.
Berenstain Bears.
My
That
buddy.
is a baby doll.
With the doll situation right now is
No,
very
you know what?
ugly.
I don't believe in the
actually-
dog. I don't believe in
men
getting
hate
boys' dogs. I
Actually, that's why
don't believe in getting boys' dogs.
My
Ex-
buddy is a baby doll.
A baby
men
doll
hate
for what?
that.
For boys.
For boys?
My
I'm
buddy.
trying to remember my buddy.
You don't remember the Chucky? Chucky came from my fucking buddy. It's a baby doll.
He didn't
but
last
just
that
because
long.
it was a boy, boys were able to get it, but they were still taught nurturing and
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
It's a fucking
Okay.
baby doll.
Actually,
I
that's
wasn't
why
dealing with no. I
that's
wasn't getting
why-
no baby dolls, Briggs.
Wellington. That's why G.I. Joe was made. a male version of Barbie doll.
Yes.
But it's not a doll, it's an action
It's an action figure. It's a doll.
It's a doll.
Boys have to learn nurturing. I'm not talking about buying a boy a fucking Barbie.
Yeah.
I'm saying you have to buy them things to teach them how to take care of it. That's why certain generations of men did not know how to nurture and love their children because they weren't taught nurturing.
Yeah, and they wasn't loved. That's why. That's all it was.
Because daddy,
You want to take one?
They wasn't loved.
because daddy was taught to go to work and pay the bills and
Right.
go to canasta.
That's it.
Exactly.
Go to work.
You know.
Come on.
You
And the
know,
women's supposed to clean the house and cook
And
and have the
nurture the
food ready
kids.
for me when I get home.
And
Okay.
nurture
See, if I
the
had that type of mind, I'd be messed up right
Your
now.
ass would be in the gutter somewhere.
Exactly.
Hey man, you picked out
Stabbed.
you picked out the perfect one, so we
Is
can
that a
all-
male
we can all-
chauvinist card?
Man.
You'll know about the fourth word.
She gonna let us know, ain't you?
All right, are you ready for this? Can you hear this?
Oh,
Can you
most
take
definitely.
it, buddy?
Oh yeah, I can
No,
take it all.
he can't.
All right. Your feeling, our feeling, being overwhelmed by a too talkative for us partner is the flip side of her feeling underwhelmed by too little conversation for you. So little, you're the too talkative side.
Yeah.
Okay.
She ain't got enough to say.
Oh, I see.
She ain't got enough
Oh,
to
so
say.
it's her fault that you talk too much.
She ain't got enough to say.
No, she talks too much.
Yeah, she talk a little too less. See, if you ain't talking, you ain't letting your partner know what's going on.
You gotta express
You know what I'm saying? You
yourself.
got to
She's
express
always-
yourself.
And if you're always talking, she can't let her.
Well, yeah, that's right. But I'm talking about, but she got to put some bass in your voice sometimes.
In other words, though, but sometimes
Let a motherfucker know you
even
mean
if
what
she
you
don't-
say.
Even if she don't have the bass, you have to learn how to shut the fuck
Yeah,
up and
you gotta
listen
to it.
sometimes.
Yeah. If you want a good relationship that lasts.
That's the key
Yes.
thing. Is people that just talk
So
all the
we-
time and not listen.
So we got the relationship. So we got the doctor. So let's ask this question. So if
I was in one for 20
if you
something
do
years, so I
talk,
do know how
if you
it
do
is.
talk to your partner or whoever you in a relationship with, however type of relationship it is, but when you talking and you expressing to somebody about your feelings and how you feel, why? I mean, what are the suggestions that you give people when they always want to say like that ain't nothing, or they like try to push your feelings to because they feel like it's nothing to them? How do you really get them to do? Because I have been in those situations where I tell people, regardless to if it's my relationship or is, sexual or whatever it is, what may not mean nothing to you, what's an anthill to you might be a mountain to me. So why would you undercut their feelings or how they feeling about the situation? So what would you tell a person about that if somebody trying to express something to them that bothers them or is an issue or problem to them, but it's nothing to the person that they're in a relationship to?
Yeah.
That
So
happens
what
to
would
me
you
all the
say to
time.
them?
I mean, somebody else.
Yeah, well, it's
I'm asking for a friend.
what,
I ain't asking for this friend.
what you're talking about in
isn't
some
it?
respects, and correct me if I'm wrong, is people think you're overreacting
Yeah.
emotionally. Okay? Well, one of the cards, and it's things that I've learned from the tens of thousands of conversations I've had, is that there is no such thing as an overreaction. Okay? If a feeling seems to be too big for like the present now, then that means that a person is time traveling, which means they're taking up hurt from the past or the pain from the past. They're feeling it for the now,
That's bad.
and they're going to the future. It's always going to be just like this. It's never going to change. It's never going to be better. I don't see any solution. I'm always going to have to put up with this. So when a person, and this is something for you to look at yourself too, is to, if people are constantly telling you, oh, you're overreacting, and they're putting your feelings down, one thing you can do to start with yourself is to look to see if you're time traveling with your feelings, okay? Because it does get too big. If you think about past hurts, today's hurts.
Yes.
Yes.
You cannot
Most
bring your past hurt into no new relationship thinking
Yeah.
it's going to be better.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no.
you can.
The past always comes
Yes, you
forward,
can.
and it'll chomp you in the ass
Thank
unless you
you.
deal with it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Now,
what I'm
thank
saying.
you.
Deal with it.
You cannot bring that mess
If you
into
don't
a
deal
new
with it,
relationship.
Yes, you can.
If it's the same thing that's going on
Everybody do
with it,
though.
Because
Everybody
want it.
does.
you
I
don't
don't
deal
want it.
with
I'm
it.
sorry.
Because it's
They-
part
I
of
don't want
them.
it.
It's
If
part
they
of them.
think that all men who wear black glasses are pain in the asses, then
It's not gonna
come
change because
forward
of
to
you.
Color your glasses.
Both of y'all glasses
Until
black and y'all pains in the
Hey,
head.
now.
figure out that that's what's triggering
Right.
the emotion.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
when they
understand
get to
that.
know
Tell you, let
and when
her
they
buy
get to
you
know
some
you,
red glasses.
I understand all that, but I'm sorry, no.
I mean, I have heard it. I have heard it from people, and I have been through it.
Yeah.
Right.
If there's something funky going on and you don't know where it's coming from, it's probably a past hurt that hasn't been resolved.
Most definitely. So if we address this past hurt and you still don't do nothing about this, then what? I'm gone.
But if you address a past
I'm
hurt, some people bring
You too
past,
hurt.
No, but some people bring past hurts up, and I done seen that because the same thing is going on with the same thing is going on in their relationship, and it's to the point where they like, no, I'm not gonna. I already deal with that and done that, and I'm not gonna deal with that anymore. So if I want to stay in this relationship or whatever, I want to deal with this now. I'm trying to express this to you and let you know what's going on, and it's an issue because this is not the first time, and you're doing the same thing. So if this is an issue for me and it's a past hurt, but it's an issue for me and it's going on now, how I'm gonna ever get over it if I don't never get it solved or get no solution to it?
I'm gone.
Okay.
That means you doing it too.
I'm gone.
Also, it's a joint thing. You've got to take a look at when you deal with your partner. You ask him, or for some
Her.
people it's her, whatever, and it's like, you know, this is what's going on, and this is driving me nuts or whatever. What is it that I'm doing that's pulling this from you? What is it that I'm doing? Because you need to understand what your part contributing to it.
Right.
And so you fix your part, but in the conversation, when you agree that you're part of the problem, you know, it's if you got to be part of the solution, you know, that thing. So when you have that conversation and you talk about what you're doing, then that leaves the
You're
other
so bad.
person more open to talking about what he or she is doing.
Right.
Look at
And then I have people have said that even when they do that, they want to brush it under the rug, like, because like I say, I don't know why people just, even as a kid, people just come up and tell me everything, and I'm like, okay, but how? Okay, so I be trying to figure out stuff. So they like, so when you get in that situation and you like, okay, what is it that I'm doing for this to keep happening to me, or it's got to be, because you're gonna start thinking like, okay, well, if it happened this time, happened that time, so what am I doing to bring these people into my life? What am I doing to cause
the
this
best.
problem?
It's sometimes, and this is another one of these things, we get into more trouble because of our good qualities than our bad qualities. Right. So my guess is that you're you work at being non-judgmental, you live at being sympathetic, you're a good person yourself, but people see that and they feel safe with you. So that
Wait, that's your opinion of what you think about her?
Oh Lord.
I guess I
Oh.
could be wrong.
I didn't say anything.
All day long.
But I'm saying that can come from that place. You want to know what it is about you that attracts that. Okay, so you have those qualities, those good qualities, to a fault, to where people take advantage of them.
Exactly.
And they don't see that there's an end to it.
So whose fault is that? Is it her fault?
For being a good person.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes. Because you can, to a fault. Yes. Because people would take advantage of people that's too nice like that.
It's always both. It's both people. An easy way to look at it too is, say you're a generous person with your money.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's fine. But if people want to, there are some people who will take advantage, and they see you coming, and so they won't put any limit on it, and they won't respect you, and they won't be offering to give something back, in return, whatever it might be, and so that's if. So if that's the way it is, but it's two parts. The relationship is two parts, and you've got to see what you're given to add to that, and what you're getting back. If you don't like
too
it,
much.
It's always
You're giving too much.
right? Well, and it's also, if you don't like what you're getting back,
I'm gone.
you're part of what's happening.
I'm gone.
You got to change your side,
Right.
and see what happens
I'm
if
gone.
the other side changes in response to you.
Because that's all you
And if
can
they-
change is
Exactly.
you.
Yourself.
You
It's
can't
yourself.
change
And I wouldn't
somebody.
want to change
When
nobody
you
else.
change your side, the other person who's legitimate and
Hopefully
wants to
he
be,
changed with you.
if they're legitimate and
Yeah.
not looking to take advantage
Yeah.
of you, will then change in response, and you create a new dynamic, a new behavior.
Yes,
If
sir.
you change your side, and you say, look, I'll loan you this $50, but I need to have it back by Tuesday. And Tuesday comes. And
Don't
Tuesday
do it,
comes, and
y'all. They
Tuesday
ain't gonna
comes.
pay it back.
Then
You ain't getting no more money from
you
me.
set the standards for it. Now that's a real easy
way.
thing to look at.
Yeah.
But with somebody asking for favors or listen for your ear or listen for advice and that kind of thing, it's kind of like, well, look, I understand your situation, but I really don't have the time right now. Why don't you go see a counselor? Why don't you go see your reverend? Go, what about
Pray.
you?
Y'all see Jesus?
You gonna need it.
That kind of thing.
Right.
So, you have to put the limit on it. If the conversation has been going on for 2 hours and 45 minutes, you let it happen.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I say people.
So you mean arguing for two
only
hours?
do
Of,
to you what you
who
allow
gonna
them
argue
to
that
do.
long?
Listening,
That is my
listening,
rule. A
listening.
person will only do what you
Allow them to
them
do.
That's what I said. So
Because
you
I'm not
have to
finna
stop.
argue with you.
And if they
When I
try
see
to
you
do
doing that,
more-
I'm gone.
But if they try
That's
to
because
do
you have no
more,
communication skills. It ain't no argument if you sit
remove
down and have something to
yourself.
I'm
discuss.
gone.
you remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah, when they
Straight
argue.
up.
Now, of course, there's a whole different set of rules and dynamics with abuse. So we're not talking about abusive relationships. That's a whole other thing.
Nah.
But
Women, if you're in an abusive relationship, get up out of it right now. He don't love you.
Run, bitch.
Anybody that put their
Run.
hands on you,
Or
he
she
don't
don't
love
love
you.
you, 'cause men
Or she
get
don't love you
abused, too.
too. There you go.
They just
Because
be
I
too
done seen
embarrassed to talk
I done
about
seen
it.
grown men get beat up on video by a woman.
it's not about the love so much. It's whether you are loved in the way you need to be loved.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Whether it's
yeah,
healthy.
yes, right. You
I
so
mean,
right.
There have been parents who say they spank their kids. Bam, bam, bam. I'm just doing it because I love you. Bam, bam, bam. You did a bad thing. Bam, bam, bam. I love you. I'm doing it because I love you. What are you teaching the kid?
You
And
that
that
you.
ain't the kind of love I want.
Hey, that's why I've said you teaching them that
Tough
you
love.
fucked up. I don't want to hear nobody telling me they love me and you whooping my ass.
Yeah.
Something wrong with that.
That's not tough love.
They most definitely. No, you can't tell me you loving me and you whooping my ass,
I
Bricks.
don't know.
No.
So if your mama whooped you and said she loved you, you ain't feel like she loved you.
She ain't loving me right now because she whooping my ass.
She still love your
She
ass.
love me, but she ain't loving
teaching
me
you,
right now.
She teaching you how to keep your ass out the grave
Well,
to
I
act
Boy,
I
motherfucking
got
right.
my
She
ass
love
whooped.
your ass.
When you whooping
I
me-
got my ass
when
whooped
you
and
get
my
your ass
parents
whooped, that parent
loved
ain't
me.
loving you right
my
then and
mama
there.
loved me, but she whooped the shit out of our asses.
At that point, she
But
wasn't loving
all
you.
of us did what the fuck we was supposed to do.
I
We
didn't
didn't
get a
have
whooping,
kids
so-
young. We
Boy, I
didn't do
got
none
that
of that
ass toe up growing
bullshit.
up, boy. Fuck
We
that.
got good educations. We did exactly what she was supposed to do, and we stayed out of trouble because
Hey.
we knew that her black ass would kill us.
Hey, I know my
Well,
parents
and
love
again-
me, but I still got
and
that ass
again,
whooped.
I'm not
But it's all about
judging
being
or second guessing.
It's
respectful
your
and then being
situation.
afraid.
But
That
it's a
doesn't work
difference
for everybody.
between abuse and her whooping us. My mama didn't abuse us, but she whooped our ass and told
Yeah.
us what we were supposed to do and not
Yeah.
supposed
And
to
did
do.
it happen again? Did you learn?
no,
Did I-
Hell no.
no, because they
Did
kept
it
being
again.
My
whooped.
mama didn't have to whoop me after so long. Shit, my mama
Did it again.
trust and
We-
believe.
we got spanked. I'm of the generation. Most
Got
people
that ass
spanked.
toe up.
I never got
I ain't get a whooping.
Beat.
or I never got just spanked and that kind of
No
stuff.
whoopings.
And it never did anything to make me.
I
act
don't need
right.
no whooping.
And I'll tell you
Shit,
why.
did for
Because
me.
I got too angry. I thought, how dare he spank me? He has no right to spank me. What I did, so I didn't eat my peas. Big deal,
They not caring that you're not eating. They not
So,
caring.
but anyway, and then with Justin, you got to hear this. So.
Yeah, he gonna run.
Yeah, you gonna get up
With
and
Justin,
duck.
he has always been an independent spirit, as have all, and I, encourage that, and I was too, and that's what I get spanked for, was my
So
independent spirit.
you love to speak. You love to speak what's
Yeah.
on your
Mine
mind.
was my mouth.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, when Justin, and I would spank Justin, and his dad wouldn't spank him, but I would spank him and that. But after a while, I thought, this is stupid. What is he doing? He's turning around and spanking his sister. When he gets mad at her. I thought,
It's a chain reaction.
Boy, you
basically-
terrible,
but
boy.
basically what I was teaching is big spanks littler.
Yeah, I feel what you're
And then
saying.
another lesson about that, and again, it's no judgment on your situation.
You have to do what's right for you.
You have to understand the impact of it. But when I was doing a lot of therapy with parents, I would always ask them, do you spank your kids? And I wouldn't say beat or abuse, but I'd say spank. Oh yeah, we do that. I say, okay, now I want you to think about it. Now, if you said you thought your kid deserved to be spanked, and you said, okay, Susie, Johnny, Jamal, whatever, you deserve a spanking because you did this, 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 and this. And so in 30 minutes, We're gonna meet in the kitchen, and I'm gonna give you 5 swats on the rear end.
And no.
You gotta make an appointment
No.
to get that whooping.
You're not going to hit me. Tell me you're going to whoop me then.
I won't hide.
Okay, now.
No.
I won't be there in 30
I won't be
minutes.
there.
Sorry, I cannot accept that appointment.
Right, now see, so
You better give
and
me
I,
right
then I
now.
would ask the parents very simply, okay, so 30 minutes later, or 45 or whatever, would you still do it? And in 34 years of asking people that
They've
question,
been to calm down
one
by
or
then.
two, they'd say, no, I wouldn't do it. Well, why not? Because I wouldn't be mad then.
Yeah.
And so for those parents, which was most of them that I happened to be dealing with, it was a question they were spanking because they were angry in the moment. And so they were teaching their kids, bigger hits littler when you're mad. And so, you know.
Or you got the type of parents that get mad at their other spouse because they mad and take it out on the goddamn kid because you mad at your spouse. Now you want to beat me up because your man ain't giving you what you want.
I don't know about them other parents. My mom would wait all day. She'd get a call from the school at 9. When we got off from work at 3, we was still getting our ass whooped. And she done had 7 hours to calm down. But she said don't go to school acting no fool.
Exactly.
And you did, so your ass getting whooped. I don't know about other parents. All I can tell you is my experience.
Yeah.
And
Now,
that
I feel
kept
you
me,
on that one.
when my friend said we finna go do some bullshit that I'm gonna get in trouble, I thought about my mama and the ass whooping and didn't go. I'm not sure how it deters other kids, but that ass whooping that I know would come.
For some people, it don't work for
deter
everybody.
Yeah, no, it don't work
Because
for
my
everybody.
cousins got their ass tore up, and they still went and did it, and got beat again, still went and did. Some of them didn't go, and some did. My
Hell
one
no.
cousin, she would get
Hell
the sleeves
no.
beat off of her, and her sister was like, nah, and me and the other sister that was same age, we just like sitting there like,
maybe they're
it
just
don't
telling
work
somebody
for
probably kind of mentally
Some
messed
of them
up
mentally
right there.
wrong with her. She
If
was
you
just
sit there and
hard-headed.
It just really
if you
depends.
Yeah, exactly.
You really have to measure the situation.
She was hard-headed.
And in
And
general,
she almost 60 now, and she's
Yeah.
still here, and she still mad, and she got her ass tore up. When the other sister was like, no,
Heck no.
mama gonna turn us up, so I'm not gonna go. So like I say, it works for some, and it don't work for the other one. So, I mean, you have to do what works for your kids.
And the ones that
What you talking about,
and
Journey?
the ones that will learn on their own don't need to be spanked anyway.
Right.
They just have that thing.
Like
But
me, I didn't have to be
another
spanked.
funny Pickett story.
It was about the respect.
when he was in 4th grade. He's funny. I don't know if you think he's
Yeah.
funny. I think he's hilarious. But he was always making kids in school laugh. I mean, he was the
He's the
kid
class
that got in trouble.
clown.
Yeah.
And got in trouble for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better
Got in
shut
trouble
the
for
hell
that.
up.
That boy got in
Justin, be
trouble.
quiet
When he
now.
was in when he
school.
when he was in 4th grade, and that teacher got fed up with him because he kept doing it. So what does the teacher do? And this is like, why would she do this? She opens her big desk drawer, has him come up and sit in his desk drawer.
Oh, Lord.
Now, do you think that solved it? Now, some other kid might have been humiliated. He thought that was
He thought it was cool.
Funniest thing
He thought it
ever.
was cool.
Right, and that raised his standing as the funny man in the class. That was 4th
He the
grade.
class clown.
Yeah.
He the class clown.
And then when he was
Yeah, your
older,
daddy was the class
7th
clown.
grade, he
Yes.
would get in trouble for making people laugh.
Yeah.
And they all loved him and all that. And I said, Justin, spend one class, don't make any jokes, don't disrupt anything, let
Say hey.
everybody else come
Say hi.
forward to do it. And so he
Say
kept
hi.
his mouth shut.
I don't remember that.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
4 or 5 other kids.
You don't wanna
during
remember
the course
that.
Of one
Say
class,
hi.
'cause that needed that many to make up for him. Told jokes and got in trouble, and he didn't. Because somebody's
Justin
always
always
going to
want to
rise.
get caught.
Somebody's going to rise to the occasion to lighten up the
I
boring
know.
class.
That was my pleasure.
Yeah.
My mother knew she was gonna get a call about mama jokes at least once a week.
Say it once a week.
But I used to tell them to her when I get in the car when she'd pick us up for school. I'd be like, "Mama, listen to these," and she thought it was the funniest thing. She'd be like, "Don't do that at school tomorrow." She knew she was gonna get a
Hey,
call.
I was a good guy. I actually loved school. I didn't get in trouble at school for real.
Me,
I actually loved it.
because okay, so when you are a smart kid or you have like some type of art in you, you know, you do art, you talkative, you get further. So I was that kid, and my teachers for some reason used to let us joan and talk back and forth for I was a
football
ball.
star. I go to some classes and make a pallet and go to sleep.
I didn't do shit in school. I used to be in show choir and shit. I'm a nerd for real.
When you a
sing
football
show
star, boy, you
tunes.
got away with everything. But when you're a football star, you get away with everything.
Man, I don't know how I was popular. I sing show tunes, okay? I was in show choir
Straight up.
with the outfits and all of that kind of shit. I love that shit now.
Yeah,
Don't fucking
buddy.
play with me. I will sing Hello Dottie
Yeah,
on y'all
buddy.
in a minute. Yeah, so I don't know how I was popular, but
So, any other questions or cards or whatever?
I want to give me a woman that gonna understand everything I feel like saying.
no, that ain't gonna happen.
Somebody want to pick another card?
Y'all would have to be raised with each
That's why
other.
you got tires with holes in it.
Hey, you women
we just
terrible,
talk
boy.
Then we
Glad
just
I
talk
stayed.
about how you will see
Hey, that's a
situation
concoction.
one way and I'll see it a different way.
Somebody put a concoction up.
Nah, that wasn't a
You would put nails to a thing, tape it up.
I already talked about
Boy, that's a
that.
concoction.
That's stupid.
Boy, I'm sorry.
I'm not finna waste all my time like that.
You want to talk it again? I mean,
Nah.
we don't need
I'm
to.
not.
Here come the lady. She finna pull again.
All right.
What's up, Miss Virginia?
So
Woods,
we
Demetrius
have
Watson, everybody?
the King of Spades. At times, this is a good one for this conversation. At times, conversation break-ins are interruptions, and at other times they are interjections. The call is highly subjective, and you get that a lot with couples. He's always interrupting me. She's always interrupting me, and this can be a very important communication breaker in a couple. If one feels like he or
They
she-
ain't getting they.
Because you won't let me talk, so I
Yeah,
got to interrupt.
you ain't getting your situation. You want to get your opinion out too, just
You
like
need
the
one of
next
those,
person.
one of
So-
those sandbags you throw.
No,
over.
Exactly.
no. So what?
People don't know
I
how
was
to
just
shut
finna
the fuck
say.
up.
So what are some of your solutions like? Cause I still be counseling people. I ain't no counselor, but and for myself. So what are your solutions or your advice to handle that? So if I'm in a situation where I feel as though my other half is not listening to what I got to say, or I have been there before. So it's like this. It's like I never got out what I needed to get out because it's like they would either interrupt or like majority of men, they don't want to hear no more, or they like, okay, well, I understand, I heard you, so I won't do it no more, whatever. So it was never acknowledging the situation or the problem or never having a solution. It was just like cutting it off, interrupting you, cutting it off, and saying this and that, and then it just, but the problem is still there. So what ways should we have, what suggestions do you have, like, we're going to give you this certain amount of time to talk and say everything you're doing or you feeling, and then we'll give you a chance to respond, and then you say,
that shit
and then
down.
you a chance to respond, or
Yeah,
do
you
we
gotta
write it down?
Or you
instead of
forget
read
about it.
Right, and there are all kinds of good things like that, and I have a few more with that. But the main thing with that is, you have a right to talk as long as you want, and somebody else has a talk to stop listening when they want.
Yes. Yes. I ain't got to listen if I don't
You
want
gotta
to.
raise your hand.
Right. So
My turn.
there's different things like if you know that I'm a long talker as a rule, and I learn, and I'm a loud talker.
No way.
except that I learned.
Was that interjection?
Yes, that was disrespectful.
Yes, that was an interjection there, boy. Yes, indeed.
I'm here to tell you stuff your mom wants to tell you. Shut your mouth.
Normally we have your back, but if you start
Shut
whipping
your
your
mouth,
ass,
'cause I'm
ain't
trying to
nothing we
listen.
can do in here.
I'm sorry, man.
Let's be quiet.
I'm sorry,
Zip
man.
it. Both of y'all fucking
Ain't
hear
nothing
it.
we can do if she
I
start
want to
beating
be-
on you.
I want to be heard.
Yeah, you want to hear it too. This is what they do.
When I was working on my doctorate, and we had classes where everybody sitting around in a circle, and to be 10 or 15 educated people that were there to earn a degree, the teacher, the professor, or whatever, would always ask questions. And so I'd look around the room, and nobody had their mouth open or starting to, so I just start talking. So and I figure, okay, nobody else had anything to say.
I'm going to say it then.
Yeah, so I'll say it then. So I don't know, about 6-8 weeks into the class, all of a sudden the teacher started asking everybody, well, I want to hear from everybody, you know, what's going on in the class. They got around this one gal. She says, well, I'm going to get a bad grade because of her. She always opens up her mouth and dominates the conversation, and I never get a chance to say anything. And I looked over and
would've
said,
said,
well, gee, I'm
bitch.
sorry. I never knew you had anything to say.
She's mad because she ain't got enough balls to speak up
Yeah.
herself.
And so,
I'm sorry.
then
She ain't got
other
no
people
balls
in
to
the
speak up
class,
herself.
Yeah.
and I felt comfortable.
They seconded her emotion, or they were
They
like,
stood up. They said, "Well, if you have something to say, you should have just
Exactly.
said it. We like what she has to say. We're interested in hearing to what she has. We don't feel like she's." And so they defended me. But and from that moment forward, that gave me the idea of long talkers versus short talkers. And some people some people just what they think and they speak. And I pretty much can think and speak almost at exactly the same time. And there are other people
they have to think about it
think
first.
about it. Should I use this word or that
Right.
word? And so that's where I developed the idea then and there about short talkers and long talkers. Okay, so the first thing is to identify yourself, whether you're a longer talker or a short talker, and who your audience is. Okay, and so you can stop, and say, look, I've got more to say. Anybody want to make a comment on it? You can invite comments. You can naturally interrupt yourself. Or if you're on the other side of things, you say, "Excuse me, can I join in here?"
I've never seen none of that go on.
Well, but I mean that's appropriate.
I've never seen none of that go on with anybody.
But that's appropriate.
I'm
If
sorry.
you say that, I'd like to make a point here that may I join in?
Exactly.
Not interrupt, but may I join in? And then, so that's another way to do it respectfully. If you're on the outside and somebody keeps talking and you want to get in there.
So it's wrong to be like, damn, can I say something? So that's wrong.
It's rude in some circles. In other circles, it'll be funny.
So it depends on what type of conversation that's going on at the
And
time.
it depends on who you're with.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Or,
I mean, y'all think I'm playing, but I would just, you know what I'm saying, if somebody said, I'd be like, damn, can I say something?
No, most that's what you do anyway.
Well,
I mean, do it
again,
anyway.
You've got to know
Your audience.
Yeah, you've got to know your audience. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be rude in one circle, like the fuck word. That's like, some people use it 5 different ways in one sentence.
Emily, when she gets
Guilty.
drunk.
Guilty.
Yeah.
I even add adjectives to like mother.
When say you
know what I'm
using
saying?
that word, you using every other
Hey,
word. Huh?
hey.
It could be an adjective, a
Hey,
noun.
a noun, a
No,
proverb,
boy.
shit. It can be anything.
Proverb? You put it in proverbs?
Hey, you
That's
can.
crazy,
You can. Hey.
boy.
But anyway, and other people. So what's offensive varies, and if you want to be offensive, go for it.
Right.
But if you're not planning on being offensive and you want to promote the conversation, you'll find a way to stand up for yourself, but not in a way that disrespects other people. And then, of course, there's the other things. Girl Scouts used to have a talking stick, and you pass it around. In my therapy room, a lot of times I'd have a 3-minute timer, and you'd pass it around, so you get your 2 minutes. So it just depends on how structured you wanna be.
That's what I was saying. So I mean, but
So
for
you
a
only get 2 minutes
relationship-
out of a 3-minute timer? Maybe it's broken.
No, you get your 3 minutes, and then if you have something to say, I mean, because the key thing to everything is communication, and for some reason especially when it comes to this texting and all this stuff, we do not know how to communicate as people
Properly.
I don't want to talk.
People don't want to communicate.
I'd rather
Is
text.
an easier way of communication.
I'd rather text.
Because you
Easy
don't-
is always
You think
easy.
what is-
I think texting is a perfect, excellent way of communicating. If
For
you,
those who don't know how
if
to.
you really know how
Yeah.
to do it, you know what I'm saying?
That's the
Because
worst
you
way.
can
For those who don't know
express
how to.
exactly how you feel straight out
Nah.
without having to
For
worry
those who
about
don't know how to.
anybody interrupting you, saying
That's why you
anything
say
back
write it down on the paper.
until you send it.
It's impersonal,
you
though.
can- I mean, everything is impersonal.
You know how long it takes to text versus
When I could
how
just
long
say
to
what I had
talk?
to say
It
and be
takes
done.
twice as long.
Yeah, it most
I
definitely
don't
do.
want to talk.
It most definitely do. But some
I-
people don't know how to.
some
Some people
people-
don't know how to talk.
I
Don't
know how to
text,
talk.
don't-
I can
No, but
talk
some
very
people don't
well.
like. No, some people don't like to
But
talk.
I don't
I ain't
want
talking
nobody
to
to
'em,
talk back.
Yeah, most definitely.
That I can express myself very well. I can curse and talk well, and I cannot do that. I don't curse like this all the time.
I do.
So I can. You know what I'm saying? Expressing is not me. I don't want you to say shit.
I do.
want to be able to say exactly what I feel, and then after you have read it, then you communicate back with me.
But
To
sometimes
me,
people
that's
take
what
things the wrong way
texting-
when you see stuff on text. You might be saying it one way, but they taking it in another
I don't give
way.
a fuck how you take
You know,
it.
just say it. You know what
You
I'm saying?
read
Real
my
talk.
words unless it is in uppercase. I'm not yelling
You
at
say you ain't not
Fuck
yelling,
you.
huh? No,
you know what I'm
know
saying?
if you know, yeah, you know the difference.
To me, I think that is way better communication than me on the phone, because when you're on the phone and you're communicating something to people interrupt you. You don't get your thought clear as you
so
may
what about
want
in person?
After I say hi,
in person, it's the same thing. When you're in person and you're trying to express yourself to people, people interrupt you. You forget exactly what you're gonna say.
So
you know what I'm saying?
down.
It's not as clear of
Writing
a
what
thought
down?
as you honestly
texting,
sitting
you basically
there
writing it down.
and typing it
hell.
out or writing it out. That is more clear thought than you. Yeah, blah 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 blah.
Well, yeah, if you want to put it like that, yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah.
you saying that your emotions will be too high to talk, so you gotta type it.
Anything. I feel that
You might get amped
you're
up.
getting more of me from me sitting there and having clear thought and typing it out to you
Then we
and
sitting
telling
there
you,
splashing
then
back and
you
forth.
interrupting, we arguing back and forth, or the interruption, because people forget what they gonna say.
I need to see facial expressions.
Thank
I
you.
need to see
I don't give a
all of
fuck
that
about none
because
of
that's
that.
going to tell me what you truly
What you
talking
really
about.
talking about.
I don't care.
That's me. I need to see that.
Me, I don't care about
But
your
I'm not.
facial
I
expression.
don't like to talk neither, though.
I
Briggs.
just
I'd
want you
rather
to
text.
feel
She
what
raised
I
her
say.
hand.
I'd rather text too. Shoot.
No, I don't want no text.
In this kind of situation, the way we're talking, I'm not getting a word in edgewise, and that's whatever. This is what we're talking about. Okay, so in this kind of situation, we ought to have a talking stick, so that when I'm ready
Good luck.
to talk, I ask you for
People
it.
get beat with that
And
stick.
we might fight over it, whatever. But basically, again, I'm not speaking for you because that's your thing. But there are many people who they write something, and it's in the heat of the moment, and if they stopped and sent it later, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now,
You can't hit the send button on
you
everything.
know whether that applies to you or not, but to many and/or most people, it does apply. The second thing I would say is, if you don't give a fuck about whether somebody understands you, then where you're trying to communicate to start with.
You say you're wasting your time,
Wasting
huh?
time,
You're wasting your time.
Because you're expressing your emotion, and that has value.
No, it's not that I care about if they understand me. They understand me because my thing is very clear. They understand what
Well,
I'm
you
saying.
don't know-
I don't really care about their expressions.
You don't want to hear them react.
I really, yeah, it could be that. I don't
exactly.
I don't want them to interrupt them. I want them to hear me. And when you're having a face-to-face or a phone conversation, that's where the interruption come up and conversations get switched.
Yeah.
You start off talking about one specific thing, and in the middle of them interrupting and them talking about something else, it goes to a total different
So
thing.
you
It's
want to
more
lecture.
clear.
You want to lecture,
I want it to be a
You don't want a
clear
response.
expression of what I feel.
which is a lecture.
And
mean,
they
if it's-
still
What
need.
call a
It
lecture.
can be a soliloquy. I don't really care. I just want them to
You
understand
just
what
want
I
your point to
feel.
get across. That's it.
So-
I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
Do you want them to respond?
I mean, they can respond. I will read what they have to say, but I don't want them to interrupt.
You just wanna
what
get yours
I-
off.
And I'll read what
Yeah.
they have to say.
You just want to get yours
I'm
off.
going
I
to
feel you.
respond. I'm going to read what they have to say from what I have to say. But a text gives you the ability
Gives you.
to say your complete. It gives them the ability too.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
have the ability after they read what I'm saying, they have the ability to type exactly
I ain't
clearly
finna type
what
you
they
nothing.
want
I'm
to
not
say
finna
to me.
type all my fucking feelings and emotions in no
Well, see, I come from letters. I come from. I had pen pals and I wrote
I write
letters.
letters, too.
So to me,
I'm not- when I'm
a text is
expressing
another
something, I'm not
extension of
gonna-
that. To me, in my mind,
that's the
texting is
difference,
another
and
extension of
that's-
writing
that's
a
the
letter.
difference.
Yeah.
But I have seen more people get in trouble in their relationship
From a text
from
message.
text message.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
misinterpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said that. You can write
And-
something and people take it the whole
All
totally
the way
different
wrong.
way.
If they
I'll
take
sure
it
take it the wrong way.
and they're so pissed at you, they're not going to tell you.
Sure
And
is.
they're not talking to you, and they didn't really get what you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they got mad.
So if I call you a jerk, you're a jerk. What if I text you, you're a jerk, LOL?
That means you
That means
you
I'm
put
a
LOL
jerk
behind
and
that
you're
means you just having
laughing
fun.
about it.
You're a jerk. Hee hee hee.
But how you know
I hate you.
Because I be calling you a jerk and
to
be
me, it would
meaning
be
that.
funny.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Me
To you,
just-
it's funny, but
Someone else
behind
might be
mine,
offended by it.
Exactly.
Because
No faking.
people are so sensitive.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is why the whole thing is people
You have
are
to be
too
nice,
fucking
Bricks, to the
sensitive.
people.
Everything has to
Yes.
be politically correct,
Yes.
and everybody has to be like
Yes.
the Dave Chappelle thing.
Yeah.
People could talk about gay folks. You know why? Because gay folks talk about you straight people. Trust, I'm gay as shit, and we
Yeah.
talk about straight people all the time.
Yes.
So why a straight person can't talk about a gay person?
You know, it just be like that. I don't know why I set it up there like that, but they just set it up like this.
I
This is how
mean,
it's been set
they
up.
are so sensitive.
Yeah.
You better laugh or you're gonna die crying.
But if you do laugh at them, the majority of the time you're gonna get fired or anything because the majority of them is
Straight
running
people
everything.
talk about straight people.
Yeah.
Gay people talk about gay people. So straight people can talk about gay people. You can talk about anything you want to talk about.
It's how you do it.
After the
It's how
year
you
that
do
we've
it.
had in 2020, however you do
You have
it,
to be sensitive
you're a
to people.
comedian.
Nah, what I'm saying, you
Who
got to
is
be
going
sensitive,
to
though.
a comedian or somebody who talks about people for a living and wanting them to have limits on what they talk about?
You still got to be. You got to be.
But a comedian isn't funny if the audience doesn't laugh.
Yes, it's right.
So, the audience shouldn't go to a comedian who doesn't speak in a way that they think is funny. So, I mean, there's a certain amount of validity to that. But again, what you're talking about, whether you're talking about gay people or whatever
it is.
it's a minority, though. And the minority can often feel ganged up on. And again, that doesn't necessarily reflect you or anybody else gay that I know, but that's kind of the sense that I get.
Yeah, they
on
feel
it,
like they're getting
that
ganged up
perhaps
on.
There has to be, and a lot of people don't know a single gay person to know what is offensive.
They don't know them because they're not looking.
Right.
It's just as many gay folks out there as it is straight.
Well, first it was
Statistically,
religion. First it
statistically,
was
it's
religion, then it
7%.
was race, now it's
Politics, religion, and politics.
gender. Yeah, first you couldn't talk about certain religions because you had to make sure you didn't offend the Catholic people. You had to make sure you didn't offend the Baptist people. And the Pentecostal people. So like you say, it's all been the same thing. It's just a trend now. So that's what they on now. So when it comes, I understand what you're saying. I think like everybody is
They're all coats.
Everybody, it's an opinion, but everybody is.
They
You
all
respect
started
everybody's
as
opinion.
coats.
You gotta
Every
respect everybody's
religion
opinion.
is a
Yeah,
coat.
it's
Just
what
like
it
David
is,
Koresh,
man.
y'all all coats.
You gotta respect everybody's opinion about things.
Yeah.
That's all. Relationship, you gotta have. You gotta respect his. You
Yeah.
gotta respect, even though if y'all don't like what
Relationships
you gotta
are
come.
coats,
You gotta
too.
you gotta come.
Unless they're Jehovah's Witnesses.
Well, yeah.
Those
That-
people
that's
are
a
weird.
code.
And that ain't even
That's
right.
a code
That's
that you
their
better not
religion.
answer
Leave them
your door
alone.
for.
I don't want them to quit knocking on
I
my
mean,
door.
that kills them though. They said so many Jehovah's Witness jokes. It's just crazy.
Man, it is what it is.
Shit,
It's
the
just-
7-Day Adventists will knock on your door too, and the Scientologists. If they coming with white shirts on, with black little ties,
And their
with
name
black
tags.
pants, and those are Scientologists.
Okay.
Tom Cruise is knocking necks.
And I'm gonna play like old girl on the movie.
I think that everything's a target except old people.
Yeah, don't mess with no old folks, y'all. I beat your
Except
ass.
when they drive.
Oh,
That's the only time I be
See.
mad at them.
Because
see, and you raised
They
them.
take too long. But I understand. I'm gonna be old one day, and then the motherfucker gonna be behind me and telling me, "Nigga, you take too long." So I try to
But
be
that
good.
ain't no lie, y'all.
I try to be good.
It was this man named Mr. Davidson. It would take him 45 minutes to get out of Kinlock. And Kinlock was number 5 minutes across.
that
Boy,
was
people be
because-
behind him blowing his shit.
But that's because he's Mr. Davis, not because
Boy,
he's
you silly. Boy.
something wrong with all y'all.
What's up,
I
Lucy?
promise y'all.
What's going on?
In
Man,
a
that's
long ass
crazy.
Lincoln.
It's had a long ass Lincoln. Make it take it any longer.
Shall I put the deck away, or
Oh man.
Okay, so who else getting one?
We can go grab one more.
you gonna grab one more?
Phil done grabbed enough.
A couple who perspires never prevents bonfires.
What the fuck?
They don't never have no problems.
You reading that wrong.
If they growing together.
No, he read it right.
No, he read it right.
I mean,
He's
that-
basically saying if
Hold
they
on, I
growing
got it.
together, you would
See-
never have no
see,
problems.
Because I text, I have to see it to
Yeah.
evaluate.
Yes. It's just
Yeah, I
saying,
have my glasses
if
on.
as long as we growing, we ain't never gonna have no
Let me
problems.
tell you what
Nah,
the
that ain't what
history.
it says.
Yes,
Let
it
me tell you
is.
the history. He read it correctly.
It
The
is.
history of that is, I think it's absolutely bogus to say, don't sweat the small stuff. I think that's a
That's exactly what I was
crap.
just saying.
Yeah.
That was the
Small
question
enough
that
to
I was
get you
saying.
Divorced.
So if
Don't
you're by a
don't
bonfire, you gotta
the small
sweat.
stuff, though. I think that's bogus, right? Exactly. And so that's why I say, who perspires, in other words, do sweat about it, and then things won't blow up on you.
Because that's just like holding everything in. When
Exactly.
and that's once again what's small to you is
It's
big
a
to
bomb
me.
to other
And
people.
then
And so that's
or
why
it grow.
so
Small
that's
things
right.
pile
Remember,
up.
That's why you got to get somebody
what
who
the heck,
understands
I mean,
that.
relationship. But the other thing too, there's a lot of so-called good golden rule. The golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated.
That been throughout.
Because
That shit been through.
Because a lot of people don't care. Like she said, a lot of stuff she don't care
I
about.
treat people
A lot
like
of stuff she don't
royalty.
care about. I treat people the way that they want to be treated. I mean, I try
Exactly.
to treat you how I know. Like it's
Yeah,
different
but the
situations. If
person
I know
who
you don't
does
like,
that normally feels
Obligated to something.
no. They normally feel like people don't treat them like they treat them.
Exactly.
You know
No,
what
they
I'm
most
saying?
definitely what
the
that is.
person
Yeah.
who lives life like that normally has regrets on treating people like they want to be.
'Cause they feel like they didn't got
because
gun- they didn't got
people
gut
aren't
off on 'em.
taught that skill
Yeah.
anymore.
I don't
Well,
feel
yeah,
like
but
that.
the other thing is though with that,
I do it
and-
because
and
it's
my
respectful,
point-
and I want
I
people
mean,
to
I
feel.
do
but
that. I treat people like I want to
with
be
that,
treated.
there's actually a second point to that. Don't ask them first. Treat other people as you want to be treated, but ask what they want first. In other words, if I love roses and I give Justin roses for his birthday, I'm treating him like I want to be treated.
But
Maybe
that
he's
don't mean he
allergic.
like roses.
He might be, and again, that's an overly simplistic
Yes,
example. But he might be allergic to roses. So then he says, Mom, roses are cute and nice and that, but, I'd rather have a beer, some craft
Right.
beer.
Yeah.
And so the next time his birthday comes around, I give him roses again.
Now you see, now you making me mad now.
Yeah, what is that? What does
You're
that
making
mean?
me mad.
Because you
now.
only thinking about yourself,
Right.
you disrespecting that person's
Right.
feelings,
And because
and
I
needs
have a
and
rose
wants.
vendor, I can get them from cheap.
And
it's
that
on
too.
the way home from work.
I'll
and
give
so it's
some
convenient
anyway.
for me.
Thank
and,
you.
Don't look a gift horse in the
I
mouth.
don't want nobody
That's
like
that
that.
narcissistic.
I wouldn't dare. Yeah, I
Giving
wouldn't
you
dare be with
hate.
nobody like that. I wouldn't dare be with nobody like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know
People
But
do
there's
it.
a lot
I
of-
wouldn't dare be with nobody like
There's
that.
a lot of old-time expressions like that.
That don't mean nothing no more.
baloney.
Yeah,
They're
they don't mean
wrong.
nothing no more.
Like, how many times have I told you that, and then you look somebody in their face like, how long I been talking to you, or how long I been around? Oh, I thought you. No, you like that. I never liked it. So why you keep saying I like
Exactly.
it?
And see me, I
Because
guess
they never spoke
that's
up.
the Virgo in me. I know what each individual person that in my life, you know what I'm saying, like and different stuff like that. So me, that's what I do for them. You know what I'm saying? I know they like whatever, and
Yeah.
that's what I get them, or different things like that. Me,
What's up,
how
Bolo?
I treat you
Jeremy?
like I want to be treated is it's about the things that you like. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna know that Tut or Bricks or whoever you know knows, because that's what I'm gonna bring to you. You know what I'm saying? What you like. Me, I follow the golden rule. I live like that. You know what I'm saying? Now I
But
do
you know-
believe everybody don't
But
do
you
that.
do.
though.
They don't.
But you do know in advance
Yeah.
what they want.
Yeah.
So what you give them isn't necessarily what you would want.
So what I don't want,
It
I don't
is
want no
what I would
narcissists.
want.
I don't want no
I would
hypocrites,
want
and I don't
them
want no
to know
opportunists
me.
around.
Yeah.
And give me what
In
I.
that sense, right?
Yeah.
Don't fake it.
But in the literal sense.
In the literal sense, no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not in the
that's-
literal sense. It's
Right.
in the sense that the thought I
Yeah.
put in you, I want you to put in me.
You would
know what
hope
I'm saying?
that.
Now they may not do it,
Exactly.
but I get my graces from above. So
Yeah,
it
you
don't
may-
Yeah,
matter.
well, that's the
that's
same
what I
thing.
say by it don't matter to me what somebody
That's
else
what-
thinks and everything, because me, my ultimate goal is the higher power.
Well,
So
keep
what
doing-
you
yeah.
think I don't really give a fuck.
But it's keep doing the right thing.
Keep doing the right thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even in the face of somebody
Even in the
treats you
face of-
badly.
yeah.
I mean, there's a certain point where
Real talk,
Oh,
world.
but yeah, you can
You
cross
move
that
on.
line.
you move on.
You can cross that line, but you know what I'm saying.
move on.
Ultimately, I try. Even people who are on my bad graces, I got people
Yeah.
on my in my
Well,
shoe
and
list.
there's-
But I still try to be a certain kind of way.
There's another thing too along that same line is that I always hold parents to a higher standard than children. Except then when the children become 25 or 30, it
They're
depends.
not children no more.
It depends on the parents and the kids. Then I hold parents and children to an equal standard of behavior for their relationship and for maintaining it. And then when
And you think that's 25? You don't think that a grown child of 18.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
Brain
not.
still developing.
18,
Yeah, 18. You got at least
18-year-olds
college
are
age.
not like 18
Boy, I was selling crack, everything at before
18.
18.
You grown
I was
to me.
advanced
I was-
before.
I
I
was
was
grown.
way
You-
advanced.
Your mind
But
still
again,
developing.
like I
Your
said,
brain
it
still developing.
depends.
Yeah, it might have
But
was, but I was
generally till
already
at least
advanced.
25
I
or
was
30.
too.
And there's a lot of things too about kids moving out of their home, being able to get established, being able
Exactly,
to
because I know a whole lot of them.
It's not the same. as
Yeah,
it
no,
was.
I don't think you
And
have
so-
to move out and get an apartment and everything, but you got to go to college. You have to try something.
Well, again, and then by the time you're the parent, his parent is like right now I'm 71 and my dad's 95, and so I hold myself to a higher standard of behavior for our relationship, And he's a guy that's always had a temper, so being older, he's still the same.
But you didn't eat your vegetables. See, that's the
You
problem.
didn't
Right
eat
there.
your vegetable.
If
He got
throws
mad
peas-
at you.
If he throws my peas back at me now, I just let it be.
yeah. Yeah.
I just let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a point. It
You have
goes.
to
Yeah.
It goes in. You have
Full
more
circle.
responsibility for the relationship.
Yeah.
And that's like the guy telling his kid to fuck herself. After because he was getting back. No, he lowered himself.
Yeah, he
first
most
to
definitely
her
did.
level.
He most
Right.
definitely did.
So that didn't teach her anything except she was right, and you give back what you get, regardless. of how bad
Yeah,
it
just
is.
taught her I'm gonna
And
disrespect
then-
you even more.
Yeah, right. I mean, that didn't teach her respect. It might have taught her fear, which then she'd either become the bully or she'd be the subject of bullies, the object of bullies. And then, so then there's a point where you have equal responsibility. Like right now, Justin and I have equal responsibility for the relationship, for give and take, and all that kind of stuff. And then there's my dad and I. And now with grandkids, we certainly have more.
Did you become a mushy grandmother? Are you a lot lenient on your grandchildren than you were on your child?
No.
That's a good thing.
No.
Because that's disrespectful to the the children.
No,
To the
Yeah.
parent. To the parent.
No, it's disrespectful to the child. Let me tell you why. Because my mother was a hardcore,
She's soft now.
She was a mushy piece of shit.
My mama
with
soft
the
now.
grandchildren.
I tell
I
my
don't care
mama that
what
my
y'all
mama's
say,
soft
that
now.
Being a grandmama is
It-
way
to
different
me-
than being
to
a
My
me-
mama's soft now.
She's soft.
She's soft now.
And to me, as a child who didn't have, I didn't have any children when my older brothers
Mm-hmm.
and sisters had kids, and to see my mother, like things that she would have beat us for,
She's soft now.
not do that with her grandkids.
Oh, don't worry
I
about it.
used to be like,
Yeah.
what?
Grandkid boy, my
Just an example.
kids get away with everything.
Just
No
an
faking.
And
example.
it's
Jumping
so
on the sofa.
disrespectful.
Yeah, it's no
that kind
faking.
of thing. I didn't let them do that. I don't let the grandkids do that. They have to ask for what they want. I mean, I will let them go in the refrigerator because I let them. Same. It's pretty much the same rules.
Okay, see,
Now,
you're good.
but
You're a
I
good
actually
parent.
have-
My mother, not so
I
much.
actually have some stronger standards than they.
You
do
just
have.
mad because you got beat up on.
But then
I mean,
again,
it really disrespects me. The fact that you beat me.
Yeah, and they
to
get
a
away with
fault
and they
for
get away with
these things,
everything.
And my nieces and nephews.
And they
were
get
able
away with
to
everything.
basically,
Yes.
coyote
Yeah.
wild, ugly. And I'm like, what the hell?
well, now when it,
You're so
when-
Yes.
disrespectful.
Yes.
when it comes to really hardcore stuff, they don't misbehave like that at our house. But if they get loud, we put the kibosh on it.
You got to put the kibosh on there.
The other day, we had 6 of them over for my birthday, 6 out of the 9 of them, and they were just loud and loud. So I have these long zippers. They're like this big for my sewing collection, and I have a piece of yarn on them. So I picked the 3 loudest ones, and I had them put the zipper on, and I zipped it all the way up. Now, amazingly, that did make them very conscious of how loud they were. And so his son, that one there, I unzipped his halfway. So he was talking on a halfway.
You tried to talk
But
talking
he
regardless.
was soft. And then one of the other ones, she kept her zipped all the way, and she's like, And so it was humorous, but it got the point about the noise. And after that, they said, well, she's noisier. No, that's not the way I heard it. You're the noisiest one, so you get your zipper first. And with one of the 11-year-olds. And
Getting
so
loud.
it was a gentle, kind, humorous, but serious way. And I used to do some stuff like that with them too.
Well, that's good that you're even keeled.
No,
Mine's not.
my grandbabies.
Well, my kids get away
clowning.
with everything.
It's so
I mean,
looking
but
at
nah,
my mama
they
like,
don't do the
are
wrong
you for
stuff.
real?
so disrespectful.
Are you for real?
I'm telling you.
Are
But
you
my
like
kids didn't get whoopings either, so.
Who? I ain't with
My kids didn't get a
I
whooping.
ain't with
My
none of
kids
my
didn't do
kids.
bad. My kids didn't even argue as loud.
Look,
If they argue,
we
they
ain't
ain't
with none of my
got
kids.
whoopings. My kids don't really get whooping, but they'll get popped and they'll get hurt.
No, they didn't get
But it's just disrespectful to, especially, and
when
I'm
you
the
feel like
baby.
your mama was,
I'm the baby,
Yeah,
so
they let them get away with
they,
everything.
you know, they started
Yeah.
having kids when I was still a teenager.
Yeah, they
and
let
stuff.
them get away with
I
everything.
mean, literally things that my mama is still whooping my butt for. My nieces and nephews are in there doing.
Boy, they
and
get to
she
get
like,
away with
"Leave them
everything. Yeah,
babies
you
alone.
leave them babies
better not
alone.
get them." I mean, I wanted to put a pillow on her head. While she was in the bed, like, what?
Heck
Why
no.
are you a mushy piece of crap
Mushy.
for them? But your kids, you know, you just smacked me upside my head
That's
in the
because they
kitchen.
was younger, B. They
No,
was younger. They was younger.
Phil, you don't do that.
They were
You don't
younger.
You don't be G.I. Joe with me and then become a character.
I feel what you saying.
your
I feel what you
grandkids.
saying. 100%,
You know, you get like- you
homegirl.
get
grandkids.
I feel what you saying.
it was
100%.
like, I was 12
My
when my
parents like
nieces
that,
and
but I
nephews was
didn't
born.
get it.
It was literally like, forget her.
They soft, B.
They can do anything.
They got old and soft.
No, and that's particularly a sensitive time because you were like replaced and you weren't treated
Right.
as well. Yeah, and that's understandable. And that it's different, you know, as an adult when you have the little kids around you or something like that. And
I still, even by the time I was an adult and still was having nieces and nephews, it still was
The
like,
the
what the
grandparents
hell is
gonna
wrong
always,
with you?
because like I was the only child forever, and then like I say, when I started having my kids, my siblings was just little kids themselves, so they basically grew up with my children, and now their children are growing up with my grandchildren. So it's totally different. Then they be saying, why you do, even when it comes to a lot of stuff, like I ain't never whoop kids either, none
My
of that, but they be
counselor.
like, whoop them, why you let them get, I was like, I didn't even whoop them. Or my sister be like, why you let them, I bet you won't whoop. They think it's a joke because I don't whoop kids. I bet you won't whoop
Well,
them.
the other-
But I learned how to curse.
Another strategy though that I used to do with Justin, and I do it with the grandkids too, if they're arguing and yapping and you know whatever. One of them inevitably will call in the police, which is
You.
a parent or grandparent, and I refuse to be the police. Now, unless they're really knives and guns.
Yeah,
stuff
see,
like
I don't get involved.
but I don't let them keep arguing either. I say, look, I don't want to hear all this arguing. So you go up into the time. It was a timeout room, but it was basically wherever I put them. Pick a corner, any corner you want to go to, and they go to a corner. I say, now you two sit there, and when you both agree that you're done being mad, you both come out to tell me and say, Grandma, it's over with. And
That's a
then
nice-
they got out then, and it was over. And if it wasn't, they'd go right back in. And I did that with Justin.
Oh, we do that with the kids too. Yeah,
Yeah,
they get some
I do
corners.
that. I
They
just
get
make
some
a
Who
corners.
want to sit and look at the corner all day long?
I sent one of my
You know
grandkids
what?
in that room
I'm
and
just
one in
saying,
that room
look at
and
the
one over
corner.
there.
I put
And
them
then when they get together,
in
they
the
come
corner
back
doing
out and act like they
military
got some sense.
stands. They be done.
I hated
too.
being
And
in the
that wouldn't-
corner.
and
I'm
see,
saying, what's the purpose
that
of it?
wouldn't work
What
with
is
the kids that I know because
Just
they'd
whoop
be
me,
steaming
and
and
then
I'd
they
rather
back
take that than
outside.
sit in the
wanna
corner.
Still get even. But when you put them in there, they're motivated to get out, and they have to say, "Look, we got to get this over with." And if there's an apology, they make one. If they don't need to make one, but they have to make nice enough to
No, we
agree.
don't put them together because they gonna fight.
See, that's why my
But
mother.
then they stay there.
That's
See?
why we didn't
They
get
go in
like
different
separate
rooms.
whoopings.
And then
If
they
one
gotta
of
come
us
back
was
and
in
apologize,
trouble,
get something
all of us was in trouble.
Yeah.
Boy, me and my brother getting our ass whipped at the same time.
And that's why my mother never.
It wasn't no separate.
If one
You don't
person
get
did
mine, you get
something,
yours
we
same
all
time.
did something. So what? I don't care what nobody. It may have been
I
bad at the
hated
time,
that.
but it taught me and my sisters
'Cause I
and
ain't gonna get
brothers
no whooping. I
how
ain't do
to
nothing.
work together, and it was us against mama. So we was gonna do whatever we had to do to keep us from getting our butt whoops.
It's just
and
like-
we can stick together.
You see how innocent people get locked up for nothing they ain't do? Niggas, motherfuckers getting their ass whooped for shit
Not
they
me.
ain't.
Look, everybody. If mama came
No
home and the
faking.
lamp was broke,
No
ain't no point
faking,
in saying
boy.
Dale
No
did
faking,
it. Ain't no point in
boy.
saying Chris did it. All of y'all getting
Oh, well,
whooped.
that means you getting beat before your mama get
Yeah,
done. I ain't
boy.
finna get in
Yeah.
trouble for you.
No, what it meant was
What's up, Jason?
we
What do?
knew how to work super glue like no other. We would super
I
glue
hate that to a pass. I
something
don't
that
wanna
was
get in trouble
broke
for
so
nothing
good.
nobody
My
else
mama
did.
wouldn't know. Like until we moved out of our house, she didn't know 2 lamps in the front room had been shattered. Cause we got in there with that super glue, baby. Woo! When she seen that, she started to whoop us.
man.
We like, man, it's been broke
You
for
know,
2
back
years.
in them days, if you broke a pot plant, anything, you getting tagged, boy. No face.
We learned how to put that thing everything together and make it work. The
Like a
lamp,
bulb.
you can turn it on and everything. I'm telling you. Boy, mama turned us into Einsteins. We ain't want to get whoops, too. We was sitting there and we was like, I think I found another piece. Get it? Hands stuck together.
Oh, man.
Tragic.
Tragic. But she taught us how to work together. You wasn't going to get nothing.
No,
you wasn't
you
going to
ain't
find out nothing
No, you
out
ain't
of
gonna get
us.
nothing to flat out.
Nope. Especially
That's how
if
me
you
and my
wash them
brother, we
dishes
ain't
for
telling
me.
on each other. None of that.
We wasn't going to tell.
None of that.
Because if one
We
got
both
whooped,
getting whooped.
we all
We
going to
both
get
getting
whooped.
Exactly.
So we not going to
took
tell.
it together. No faking.
Sad for y'all.
Look. Well, you
No.
ain't
Don't
got
whoop
Hey.
me for nothing I ain't did.
Boy, you must didn't hang in the. You wasn't in the
She
hood.
was the only child.
I was.
See, it was
My
only
daddy,
both of
my
us.
daddy had my daddy's the
wasn't
baby
in the
of
hood.
14 kids,
Look.
and he's be 75, and he just celebrated his other
was
Big
hiding
back, bro.
everything.
Big back.
I was with my daddy people all the time, and they got in trouble.
So they got in trouble all the time.
My daddy brothers and sisters taught their kids up.
Got them butt whoops, boy.
They got in trouble. I wasn't the one that was doing stuff, so I didn't get in trouble.
No,
She was a
if
good
you was,
girl.
I
if
didn't
you
get
was
no
over in my
She
grandma,
was a good
if you was
girl.
there, you was getting whooped too.
Nah.
You better be sitting
I
in the
was
front
fine.
room
They
watching
weren't gonna whoop me because they would have to deal with my mama. And
watching
my
Big
dad.
Bird. That's
Boy,
the
I
only
done
way
see-
you
I
was.
didn't see people get their ass whipped for just crying. You crying? You crying?
I'll give you something to
Something to
cry
cry
about.
for.
No faking. Don't tell me what went on back in the day. I
It went
experienced
on,
all.
I didn't get it.
I experienced all of that.
I've seen it.
No fake. Well, I told you my
I'm like,
grandma.
why you gonna tell them to stop crying and you whooping them?
Man.
I said, stop.
And the
let's
worstest
cry.
one is you getting your ass whooped and they telling you, you better not cry.
How about
You better not cry.
you getting whooped because you laughing because somebody country as shit for saying snickering? You keep saying snickering, I'm gonna keep laughing. My grandma beat the shit out of me because I wouldn't stop laughing, but you keep saying snickering.
And I say that
boy,
right
you
now
can't
today.
use you can't do none
And
of
she was
that.
from Mississippi, real deep in
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Both of my parents from
snickering
What I tell you my grandma
did
did.
not sound like
Had a swing
snickering
seat.
to me.
Had a swing seat. The seat that you actually swing on. Cut an edge off this side and cut an edge off this side.
tell y'all, look,
Boy, I'm talking about ass whoopings. Knock over a plant.
See, and that's what used to kill me. You would be whooped for
Knock over a
accidents.
plant.
For
Go to
accidents.
Mississippi and knock over a plant.
I need a hug.
Boy, I ain't gonna
I'm
lie,
good.
man. Hey, I got it growing up. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, we
I
got it.
got it. But it made me the man that I am now, though.
We got it.
I'm legit. No
You
faking.
still did wrong.
I'm
man.
legit. Everybody got their
Oh,
ass whipped
still,
growing
okay.
up. Shit.
I did too. Y'all funny.
You did. You just don't remember.
I didn't. Only time
I
I
got
got
lots of
I got
Hey,
whooped at school in
Fellington.
my hand for talking.
Of all this serious
The joke of the
topic,
day.
I think we need a joke.
We got the joke of the day.
We need a joke.
Hey.
We got the joke of the day.
gonna
She's
be dirty.
bricks.
Wait a
We got
minute.
the joke of the
Well, how
day.
dirty
It's
is it?
dirty.
We got the joke of the day.
We're joking.
We got the joke of the day.
Hey, hey.
Halloween.
We got the joke of the
What
day.
he
Boo
doing,
hoo.
Simon?
Boy, you mean to say it's 2:00 and we didn't spend it? Boy, Mama kicking it took our whole show.
See, she's a long talker.
She took a whole show. She took a whole show.
Oh, oh. Oh, oh. It's a joke of the day.
It's the joke of the day.
Get out of the way.
It's the joke of the day.
Yay,
Oh,
yay.
It
Hey.
better be dirty, dirty.
It's the joke
Dirty.
of the day. All right. So, Halloween flavor. All right. So, there
like to
was
know
an
that.
old couple who hadn't celebrated Halloween in a long time. So, they decided to dress up and go out. The old woman went into her bedroom, stripped naked, and tied a string between her legs with a lemon at the end of the string. When she walked out the room, her husband yelled, "You can't go out like that." She said, "I can go out as whatever I want. So can you." So the man agreed. He went into the room. Soon he came out naked with a string tied to his penis and and a potato. At the end of the string, the woman said, "You're going out like that?" He said, "Yes." Said the old man, "If you're going out as a sour puss, I can go out as a dictator."
I'm done
That's
with
too
y'all.
much playing now.
Hey!
What's up, Gwen? What it do? What it do? That's too much playing.
Do too much.
Dictator.
Miss Kiki say, where do rainbows go when they die?
Where the rainbows
Where
go.
do rainbows go when they die?
Back into the atmosphere.
Anybody else? Are
I
you
didn't
ready
know
for
they
the
died.
answer?
Yeah.
Prism.
Oh,
Prism.
That makes okay, yeah. So, no, about the prism.
All of the it's a rainbow. It's all
There
of
you
the
go.
colors
It's the colors
of the spectrum. The spectrum of colors
Yeah.
is the prism.
Yeah.
You get that?
No, you
So
don't.
it ain't prism. It's prism.
Oh.
They go back to where they came from.
Yeah,
Basically.
I get that.
Like Dr.
Me
Zord.
and Justin we a little slow over here today.
And Superman, like Dr. Zord, going back into never mind.
All right, let's go ahead and do the news real quick, and then we'll come into.
Heck no.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a place where we call the news of yesteryear, of the time before yesterday, stuff that did not happen today, but one day back in history.
And it taught us to do something totally different.
All right, this first one's for you, Fellington. How do you say that?
No.
name?
Now you gotta tell them how to say the word.
Jadawiga.
Nope.
Jawiga.
Let's what your mama said.
Jawiga. No faking.
Jadawiga is
No, not Jada. No, it's Jadwiga.
Jadwiga.
It's Jay Wiga or Jadwiga, but I'm gonna go with the Jadwiga.
Jadwiga was crowned the king of
king.
Poland,
King of Poland.
but she was a woman.
She was a woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
how did that happen?
Queen Elizabeth is the king of fucking England.
So,
She
They ain't
runs.
got to, they ain't got to
she's the-
disrespect the lady, call her a king.
I mean,
so
shit.
Oh, so there you go. So
It's
maybe
a
that's why
title.
Poland's backwards, because
It's
maybe
a
they thought
title.
she was a
Yeah,
man.
bipolar Poland.
1869. 1869, a hotel in Boston becomes the first to have indoor plumbing.
Indoor
Because
plumbing.
before that, they had to go out the window and.
Oh, boy, you had to be rich to go up in that deal there back then. Yeah. You had to have some money.
What's the name of the
Straight up.
That doesn't say.
bullshit, maybe?
Heck no. No faking,
Speaking
man.
of bullshit, 1916, Margaret Sanger opened the first birth control clinic
Margaret
in
Sanger.
Brooklyn. So
Thank you, Margaret Sanger.
So if they had all this birth
Thank
control
you.
back then, how come all these people had babies?
Because they didn't care about that back
Because they
then.
couldn't get it.
They just wanted to be knocked up then.
They couldn't
They were
get it.
discriminated against if they went inside.
And they was trying to get away from home.
I thought the men went inside, not the women.
No.
A lot of women back then was trying to get away
It
from
was
home
the
back then.
Tremont Hotel.
No, they
Yes,
still don't want to
they
take
were.
responsibility.
Tremont Hotel.
Yes, they were.
They
Night-
were what?
19.
What?
He needs a belt. Her son's pants are falling down. Am I getting whooped? Okay.
Oh,
We don't
no.
use foreign objects for beatings. 1923, Disney Brothers was founded.
Disney
Cartoon
Brothers.
Studio. He's actually from Missouri, I believe.
Who is?
Walt
Walt
Disney.
Disney.
Walt Disney
He's from
is?
Missouri, yeah. 1925, Texas School Board prohibits the teaching of evolution.
Yeah. You can't teach
You
that
can't
still.
talk about that. No.
Big
1972.
Bang Theory. Can't talk
Hey.
about that.
1972, the rock band Creedence Clearwater Revival breakup.
What?
Yep. They were on that Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're from Marcel, Missouri.
Marcel, Missouri?
Marcel, the Disney's.
Marcel, Missouri.
1985, Intel, that was the first microcomputer chip. 1985.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's
32-bit.
That's the man.
Well,
you
we
made
still
like
got that
this.
going right now, though. 32-bit.
The green man that you made like
Yeah.
this.
Yep.
That is.
1985, the Royals and the Cardinals both won their championships.
Oh, we was gonna talk about that today. They fired y'all,
Well,
man.
we got a little bit of time to Wooks
They should
running late.
have been fired.
Didn't we talk about that last
They
week?
should have kept Matheny from the motherfucking jump.
But what didn't
That's
we
what
talk
the
about that?
Cardinals did
Didn't we
best.
talk about that
We already
last
said
week?
he
We
was
already
out.
said that he was gone.
And
I called it
Well,
off.
should have left Wainwright.
You
in. I
shouldn't
think
have
that's
took
the problem.
Wayne right out the game.
You don't take the ace out.
And then they stopped the 17-game winning streak on purpose because we don't wanna lose the streak. You big dummy. You playing good for a reason. You keep riding the wave
You got
until it
That's
ends.
what we get when you don't play the game. When you get rid of good ass managers for nothing.
Yeah, you ain't even
Matheny,
lying. Yeah.
as soon as he got here, we going to the playoffs. We doing
Every
But
what
look
we
who he
do
took it from. He
every
got it from
year.
Tony La Russa, though. He took over for Tony. That's the reason why he was doing.
You
but
don't get rid of him.
I wouldn't have let Matheny go get somebody that I never heard of a day in my life. I never knew who Kurt
he worked for us.
Mike
He was
Shilks
already
was.
with us. He was already with us.
Just to say, let him finish his.
Also that same year we beat the Dodgers. So did we win in '85?
No, we lost to Kansas City Royals.
The Royals won in '85. Then okay,
yeah, we lost to the Royals.
Nah, we lost to the Twins.
We lost to the Twins in '85.
That was when we lost to the Twinkies.
Yeah, okay, 85. Let's see. Next, 1986 was the government shutdown. Reagan in the House. They were how can you shut down the whole government? That's ridiculous.
Because that's what they do it every day.
Right.
When you got an active playing president, anything can happen.
We're going to take a 2-week recess and we'll come back to work, y'all.
1992 was the 1700th David Letterman show.
1992.
So that's a lot.
That boy been off the show. That boy been out there for some years now.
Right. I don't even know who's doing that anymore.
Yeah, he been off the show for a hell of years now.
What's his name? It's on it.
Conan? Is it Conan now?
No, fuck no. What's his name?
It's the fat white dude.
Fallon?
Jimmy
it's fat Jimmy Fallon? Oh, okay. I thought it was the other dude.
They do an awesome. Him and the Roots do an awesome job.
1992, Gilligan's Island was first shown on TV, but it was filmed in 1964.
And it just started coming on in 1992.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
I was watching Gilligan's
first shown
Island back
on
in the
TV.
80s.
Is that the Escape from?
I was watching Gilligan's Island in the 80s.
It just says the pilot was first shown on TV.
So was it just the,
well,
so it was the old one that they brought out?
Oh, okay. 1995, the Million Man March was held in Washington, D.C.
Man, that was in 1995.
Only 800.
For real?
Graduated high school.
I'm here. That's what I was talking
I had
about.
both my kids behind hand.
It was only 830,000 attended. They didn't quite get a million.
They ain't get a million.
We was in Lincoln. We was at Lincoln, and I remember it was.
I went to Lincoln up there. I went up there my senior year in school for track meet for the track championship.
It was buses on the thing, and they was telling the boys to get on the bus and everything. And some people could, some people couldn't.
Exactly.
But I remember them getting everybody to go and everything, and we like Million Man March. They ain't asked for us to go. We was pissed off.
Man, I ain't give a fuck about none of that shit.
This one's crazy. It depends how soccer is like the #1 sport in the world.
It's gonna be the #1 sport here in St. Louis in a little bit.
1996, 84 people were killed and more than 180 injured as
in a stampede.
47,000 fans tried to squeeze into a 36,000
and that motherfucker collapsed on their ass.
Was that in Mexico?
Guatemala.
That motherfucker collapsed.
Yeah,
that motherfucker collapsed on their ass.
It'd be too many
no
of them.
faking.
You remember when
soccer
the World
is
Cup,
super big.
We was in Orlando when the World Cup came.
But here.
When I tell y'all, Orlando was packed. The World Cup was in this motherfucker. It was
I know
packed.
it was damn packed.
We went down there to go to fucking Disney World, and you couldn't get no motherfucking word. Like, it was so packed. There was so many people.
When they open up the soccer station next year?
Next year, 22.
Man, watch how packed the jam packed can be down there.
I'm telling you.
I'm talking it's going to be more packed than the fucking baseball game.
But you know what I like is...
Watch what I tell you.
But it's multicultural.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You know
all
what I'm saying?
day.
When you go, it's like the perfect thing of what the melting pot should be.
Well, it's the
it's
easiest.
Races of every color.
It's races
there.
of everything, yeah.
I mean, it's the easiest sport to play.
Because all you need
literally
is a ball.
need is a ball.
It's a ball. That's it, yeah.
Well,
and you don't need no lot of people to kick a ball around.
I know motherfuckers of every race, creed, color. It's Eskimos right next to motherfucking real Indians and shit. You know what I'm saying?
2000 was the National League Championship, but we lost to the Mets. I remember I was there. I was there at that game. And then it was the Mets and the Yankees. I remember
Fuck
the World
the
Series
Mets,
in 2000.
fuck the Yankees
Both of
too.
them, exactly. But 2011, the Cardinals beat the Brewers 4-2 in the National League Championship.
Yeah.
Another
downtown was off the chain, but we kicked it so hard, Jesus Lord.
I was going to drop somebody off at the time because I thought we was finna leave. I thought we was finna lose.
Man.
2013.
I thought we was finna lose.
2013, we had another 16-day government shutdown.
We finna have another shutdown in a little bit.
Yeah, they
finna shut down in a little bit again.
In 2014, we were also in the National League Series, but Damn Giants got us.
Damn Giants.
I mean, but that's one thing we can find solace in. We're always there.
We're always contenders.
We're always contenders.
Yeah, we're the second best team overall, but behind the Yankees anyway, as far as
you got rid of that bum ass motherfucker now, so it's all good.
So yeah,
but you
we gotta get us a name coach.
You know what pissed me off though? Did y'all look at the Dodgers though? The Dodgers got Pujols.
They got lucky again.
They got they got everybody from St. Louis.
Who else?
They got hella people from St. Schusterer. That nigga was born and raised here.
No, Scherzer is.
It's hella people that have a St. Louis backing that is on that team.
Yeah, McGuire was their hitting coach, I think, for a while.
And Pujols, bitch ass, is
Pujols. He actually was. He would have rather came back to St. Louis, but L.A. Dodgers the one that gave him that goddamn contract.
Fuck Pujols.
Angels.
It's gonna take.
The Dodgers.
It's gonna take another 10 years for people in St. Louis to let this nigga back here. Fuck him.
Pujols ain't coming. It's a done deal.
He already came here, and they get applauded.
When he was finna retire. And then the nigga didn't retire, and he playing us in the game to win.
Hope he
Fuck
going as a
Pujols.
Cardinal.
Yeah.
He probably don't.
That's true.
Girl, what you doing? And who computer you beat up on?
Jamal.
Who computer you beating up on?
Turn it up.
All right, you want to get into the news? You want to take a little break?
Yeah, what news?
We'll play a song. We'll be right back.
What time is it?
It's
2:14.
2:14.
I don't know where Mama is. We can sign out after this.
Yeah. We go. It's been a long day, you guys.
Philton's got appointments.
I ain't got no point. Yeah, I'm finna go get my tire fixed.
Yeah, see, you got to.
Somebody did me in.
That's shady as fuck.
Somebody did me in.
I ain't finna waste my time like that.
That's why you were hanging out in construction zone.
Man, I don't hang in no construction zone.
That's a waste of time.
So you don't look at your car when you walk out. You just get in and go.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that.
Probably would.
Because they caught you on the first one. You was like, what happened? And then when you got to get in the other one, you was like, oh, it's a setup.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
What's wrong with you, girl?
Because he took his stuff back.
Oh, you mad because he took his stuff? She flapping the face.
Is she flipping out over
Yeah,
that?
she flapping out. She have hissy fits. She have fusses. She fussy too.
She took that back there too.
You better go back there and look. She had that too.
You can't leave stuff out with the baby. Well,
You
he
mad?
got the soda out too, and she spilled it.
Yeah, she mad.
Oh.
Yeah, she mad.
You
Go,
better
bring her
look.
back. Go put her in the, go. We're almost done. Put her in the room.
Put her in the room, Jamil.
I don't want to hear her cry.
And look for Jamal's control.
Overtime.
That's why we're here.
Overtime all the time.
Overtime.
We want to thank our special guest.
Yes.
The doctor.
Mama
Mama
Kick
Doctor.
No,
Kick.
Doctor.
Dr.
Mama
Mama.
Kick.
Doctor.
Yes, we got to
Not
make
the
sure we
mama
say it
doctor,
right.
the Dr. Mama.
Yes.
We
Not
want
the
to thank
Dr. Mama,
everybody
Mama
for
Doctor.
tuning in. Hope
Of
everybody was
course.
educated.
Educated.
If you need some relationship advice, then
Work on those relationships, people.
yeah, they don't happen.
And also, I'm going to have a coloring book coming out that has adult relationship tips and a workbook with it, a lightweight workbook, real easy to get into. Should be out in the next month or two before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Let
that's
me know. I
awesome.
gotta give you some of those. That's interesting.
And I can color very well.
I
so
would
need-
need those for real. I need those.
Yeah, a lot of people like to color, and it's kind of an easy way to get into the topic.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Who we got over there to my left?
Bricks, Montana. Of course, y'all can find me on all social platforms of, media at Bricks, Montana. Check me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Gina Wade at Facebook, Instagram. Catch me on Monday night. I guess you can catch me because it ain't been working out. I do have my own show called Talk That Talk.
See what happens
Cocktail
when I'm
Hour.
not here.
See what happens with Kicking
I
is not
don't know
here.
how long that's gonna last because for some reason, either I ain't got no audio, I ain't got no.
So we gotta get the right people down here.
I don't know what's
So
going
we
on.
gotta get the right
I have some
peoples.
interesting toppings and people that are showing up for my show, but
That's awesome.
we're gonna see what's going on with that. You can also have W3EW nonprofit organization, and make sure you check us out on October the 30th out on Lusher Road for our trunk or treat, which My City, My Music will be there broadcasting live as well.
Broadcasting live, huh?
I need
That's what's
Reese's,
up.
by the way, just in case you're wondering what candy I like.
Okay,
That's what's up.
so yeah, just about now,
Check
that's
them
about it.
out.
All right. Special guest.
Well, I've enjoyed being here today. I always love to talk about relationships. I've learned a lot in 35 years and 10,000 conversations and being a probation and parole officer before that, and I like to share that information.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
I'm never without an opinion, and I never met a question I didn't like. A whole hell of a lot I couldn't answer, but usually I'd come up with it eventually or find it. And I like to respect the diversity and different opinions of people. And so look out for my coloring books coming
I
up.
can't wait.
Yes.
Your website?
Real simple. PattPickett.com. PattPickett.com.
And you
All
got a
right.
book? Where do those cards come from?
Well, this is my book that I'm redoing. It's the Marriage Whisper Challenge cards, and I'm redoing them as well. I do still sell these on the website. You can check it out. Had a good time being here today.
Yeah.
Happy
Like I
birthday
said, ain't
to
no,
you.
The only dumb question is the one you didn't ask.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Unless
know
it's
you
a dumb
say-
question, you probably shouldn't
no,
answer
questions
it.
I ain't never done. You got
This is a dumb question.
only
Unless
dumb
it's
question is
actually
the
a
one
dumb
you
question.
didn't ask.
Yes, indeed.
Respect other people's thoughts.
Oh,
Yeah,
shut it,
ignorant.
Nuggets.
The man with the black glasses.
Oh, Mr. Underscore
Yeah,
Boss Click
both
Back
of
Beat
y'all
on
done.
Instagram. Mr. No Quitting on Facebook. Everybody go get all the albums. Drugs Volume 1, 2, 3, Ken Lockville, all the way up. 31st of Halloween, I'm coming back with the GOAT album, y'all. It is what it is.
Oh,
This
man. We got
beat.
Doc back there.
One
Casual.
year.
Doc who?
There he is.
Doc back that boy. That boy in the
It's
stucker.
it's casual. It's casual Saturdays today for Doc.
It's casual
He
Saturday.
didn't wear a suit
He
today.
ain't got his lapels on.
Casual Saturdays. DOC Playground TV. Check them out. Check them out. My name's Justin Kickett. This is My City, My Music.
Yeah.
Kickett Company
All
each and
day
every
long.
Saturday.
See y'all next
Check
week.
us out next week. We got
Yes.
we got that Yours Award coming up.
Yeah.
Yours
So
award.
definitely don't
It's
vote for
yours.
us. Don't vote for
They
us
never
because
vote for us.
they don't vote for us because we're the best show.
Forget
When
what
I
they
was
talking about. Y'all better
but
vote
when
for
I
us.
was, when I was saying that, y'all were telling me we got to change. I know we ain't got to change.
See how with an attitude like that.
No, because I got the perfect. I think we should
Haters
win
don't
every
make it in
award.
our
Well, then have
hood.
people vote for us.
Man, I think we should win every award.
Peace out,
Be for
y'all.
real.
Count the votes.
All right, we'll see.
for
We got
real.
Tweezy coming in next week talking about it. So
Tweezy coming up here next week.
November 6th is that. Should be a pretty good time.
what's
We're
up.
putting on for the
That's what's
city, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Next
Peace.
week. See you good people.